armband. And with some Kyrgyzstani patches, I basically made a some sort of Kyrgyzstani SS uniform with the patches on the collar.
I guess I'm more part of the keep YouTube spooky people.
No.
Yeah, because another group of folks that got hit really hard by the apocalypse was the horror and true crime community.
Yeah.
Because how does that make any damn sense?
I mean, what was it? Thunderfoot was just tweeting about how like it was like electrons to the naked eye or something, and I think the naked part might have triggered it.
Oh God, the word naked. The word naked.
Well, there is a guy that was doing Halo speedruns. His name was Naked Eli. He still had his also the beginning of the Xbox 360. He was banned like last year, and I never heard of him again.
Oh, that sucks.
Just for his name, and it was the N3 AKEED. It's like okay, Naked Eli. Just like
okay, here's the thing.
He did his streams shirtless. That's why he was named like that. But he was one of the most known Halo live streamer speedrunners, and I think he had a lot of world records. But I'm not sure. I never heard of him again.
Okay, I hear us.
That's
just for his name, and it was the N3
I'm sitting between two people that I consider friends, two people that I respect, two people that were brave enough to fight without things online and the comforts of anonymity, but two people
one of the most
known with serious disagreements, with some bad blood there and some things being said.
I'm not hearing.
But we're willing to come here and talk about everything that we're going to talk about for the next hour. And to me, that already is a win for everything that's going on in the country these days, everything that's going on online these days, and everything else. Beyond that, the three of us. Oh, you know what? I'm going to do some
The live debate was only an hour 35. I thought it was like 2 to 3 hours long. That's how abysmal it was.
Yeah, it's an hour.
It's not that it wasn't interesting. It's just that. Oh.
Okay. Yeah, so I got it on my phone and it seems like it's playing. So, or it was playing. Like I could hear the audio. So.
Hold on. It's because I paused it.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm going to do some
we'll start it over.
So of course you got across from each other with serious disagreements.
No, go back. All right, let's start now. All right.
These days and everything else. Beyond that, the three of us. Oh, you know what? I'm going to do some intros first. So, of course, you guys know Candace Owens, Red Pill Black. Candace was a guest on this show just about 3 weeks ago, and I think that was one of the things that kind of put you on the map. And then just literally about 4 or 5 days later, it seems that this whole explosion about what social autopsy is or what it was kind of happened. Anyway, welcome back to the Rubin Report. I didn't know it was going to happen that quickly.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Yeah.
Happy you're hosting this.
Yeah. And to my right is Blair White, who is a friend of mine who has been on the show a couple times. And third time now, you have entered. That is a rare. That is a rare. I think we have a couple 4-timers, but you might be the 1 3-timer right now. We will definitely go for 4. But you are an absolutely outspoken and I think irreverent.
Real quick, you guys are still here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Just making sure.
It works on the stream.
I'm waiting for the part where she refuses to call Blair by pronouns.
Oh, does she? Oh gosh.
Being a petty cunt.
I mean, the Daily Caller also did that too, and I was just like,
that is the pettiest thing. Okay, there is a big difference between calling a special snowflake werewolfkin Zer and like refusing to call them by their pronouns, and calling Blair White, who has gone through all the shit that she's gone through and has a legitimate medical diagnosis.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just
there's a big fucking difference.
It's just like unless you knew it, you would still call her she. That's what my standard is.
I've used Blair a few times as the conservatives. They're just like, well, I mean, it's just some dude in a dress, and just like, hey, what do you think of this chick? Oh, she's hot. Like, that's transgender woman. What?
Whoops.
That's basically my standard. There's passing. It's mostly that you need to make efforts. That's what I use as a measuring tool. If you looks like you make efforts,
right now, like, oh man, she's
gonna be alright.
She's beautiful. It's like, enjoy your confused boner.
I mean, I guess the other thing is like the other question.
My boner isn't used at all.
Are traps gay? Because we gotta bring up that question.
Oh God, Wolfshot. Okay, sorry.
All right, I'm gonna keep quiet.
Hey, there's boobs.
Right?
I mean, I think
there's boobs and there's.
I think for me, like being attracted to trap or like initially being attracted to traps is fine. Like sleeping with a trap, that starts crossing the line. I think
Blair is not a trap.
No, I know.
If it's basically well depends. If you know it's a trap, yes, it's gay.
Yeah, I think that's a good line. All right, I'm gonna keep playing.
You care about.
Also, I believe.
Just a couple of
sorry, one more thing.
I think that the three of us sitting
I believe Blair frequently says, "I'm not a trap. I'm an ambush."
Well, that's one way to put it, I suppose.
Why not?
All right.
Little of identity politics against itself for a moment.
Gay trans black.
Yeah. A black conservative, a trans woman who really leans right. If not, do you call yourself a conservative?
Right. At this point, Blair is ready to just be. She's like, okay, let's get this out of the way. Gay trans black.
Yeah, and also
move on from that shit right now.
No one put it that way. No one thought of it. It's Blair White against Red Pill Black.
Blair's just trying to get all that shit out of the way right now, so we can actually move on to the issues. And Candace ain't gonna let her do it.
Of course.
All right.
Fuck.
Okay, so we've got a black conservative, a trans conservative, a gay liberal, but I'm an old school liberal, which is everything against identity politics. And I know none of us care about.
He's not really. Well, the thing is his
classical liberal?
His political compass put him right libertarian, so he's not really an old school liberal anymore.
Not a liberal. That's still right wing.
Yeah, he's like officially in right wing, I would say. I mean, granted, he can be. That's fine.
You're a bootstrap conservative. That's what you is.
I mean,
bootstrap conservative. From the first time I heard that.
Yeah. Basically, like don't rely on the government for everything. Anything. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. He's still. I'm actually surprised that he's still going with that, especially since he posted his political compass. Like, you know, if I switched into right libertarian, I would then start calling myself right wing. I think, but I don't know.
I actually poll really hard to the left.
I'm like centrist.
Me too.
Left libertarian.
But I lean libertarian hard left.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I'm libertarian less on the left. I'm centrist.
All right.
To the left. But I'm centrist. But I'm right on the line.
I don't know. I've never thought that those compasses are really very useful, because even among people that are on the exact same freaking spot on those compasses, they might have very different views on how they deal with people in their day-to-day lives. So I really never thought they were very useful. It's kind of like when you play D&D and you have character alignment. It's not really that useful.
I mean, to a degree, like there's something you might have to do, I suppose. But I mean, that's only if the DM's like really enforcing stuff. But anyways,
those are the annoying DMs.
All right, play.
That in and of itself is a little bit of a statement right there. And we're doing this face to face. And more importantly than anything else, perhaps, we all were lefties.
Yes.
We all were
okay,
on the
so
other
he's
side of
not
perhaps where we're at now politically.
Wildly different.
Yeah.
3 years ago.
Yeah, that's not that long ago. You were wildly different 18 months ago, and I've kind of had a slow evolution over these last couple years. And I think all of those things are worth saying because I think actually that there's a lot that we do agree on, and hopefully we can get to some of that. But I know you guys are watching because you want to find out more about what actually happened with Candace's website, Social Autopsy. Now, she explained this fully to me when we sat down about a month ago. And then after that, a bunch of YouTubers started making videos about her comments on it. Was some of it true? It sounds like maybe some definitions were slightly confused. I think I've talked enough. I thought the best way to start would be for you simply to just explain once again your involvement in Social Autopsy and why you did it and sort of where it's at the moment, and then we'll go from there.
Right. So I just want to start off because we just had a conversation off camera. She posted something that said my predictions that I talked about. I'm not comfortable using the she pronoun. Not because it's not anything to be disrespectful. It's just that a lot of people that follow me don't know that Blair is trans, and a lot of people that follow her maybe don't know me, vice versa. And I think that it betrays the audience when you make it sound like this is a petty cat fight and there are two girls sitting across.
Who's being petty, Candace?
Man sitting across from a grown woman.
Pause. Holy smokes.
Yeah.
I say, who's being petty, Candace?
Like, we're really gonna go on. Oh God.
I didn't get very far into this debate, by the way, before I was just like, no, I'm just going to watch the videos.
Damn, she is
It was already
arrogant.
started when I came in, and it's just like, they were still screaming. This
one made me go,
I couldn't imagine what the rest of it was. I think I only heard the last half hour.
I was on the train watching this, like, on my headphones, and I yelled, "What the fuck?" out loud.
Oops.
At this point.
I mean, it's just like,
and you just think, because it's a quiet train, then everybody looks at you like you're a lunatic.
I mean, the thing is, like, it's
no, really, guys, I'm watching this transgender woman debate a black conservative. Okay, I realize how stupid that sounds. I'm gonna shut up now.
I mean, the thing is, like, if you're gonna have a debate, like, generally, like, even if you don't like each other, usually in a debate, you try to at least be somewhat cordial, but she's just straight up.
You put personal shit aside.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, I think maybe she's doing it to.
You leave it.
She's trying to get an advantage, maybe.
She wants to rile her up.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Or I don't even know what she's trying to do at this point. But it's petty.
All right.
It is.
I mean, yeah, we might as well move past it. All right.
Who has had a lot of things to say about me when I've never even met you or said negative comment about you.
You just did.
So I just want that to be very clear. Happy to for the rest of this.
Clear.
Yeah, it should be known.
Clear.
We're both adults. You're a grown man.
No, we're definitely adults. I just think it's interesting how you act like you're above the ad hominems and you're above attacking someone when in reality you and I both know that the situation is you're using those pronouns and you're saying what you're saying, calling me a grown man.
That's not an attack. That's a fact.
Let me finish that. You're doing that in a way to be passive-aggressive and petty, but in a way that your audience doesn't actually read, because you do have the very hardcore conservative audience, and so they're not really going to read it as petty. Everyone else will.
No,
though.
I don't want them to think that this is a cat fight between two girls. It's not. I'm saying
That's
that you are. No, it's
Hold
very.
on.
No, it really isn't. It really fucking isn't.
Why do I even care if it's a cat fight or not, to be honest? I don't really care.
Why do I even care that Blair is trans at all? It has nothing to do with the fact that you run a fucking doxing website.
Yeah.
I don't know. She was trying to deflect, rile her up. And at the end, they both got that in yelling.
And
she's really bad.
And like, Blair didn't take the bait at first, but she will.
But by the way, so you guys both think this is, or you both consider her thing doxing, essentially, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean...
Oh, God,
I mean, the thing is, like, for me, if it was just photos, it was just photos of, like,
even
people...
photos and everything, even if all of this was only accessible to, say, registered institutions...
Mm-hmm.
And like a background check.
I mean,
okay.
Yeah. For me, like, the worst part was like their place of employment and like where they went to school or whatever. Like those two especially are really touchy for me. The other ones are bad, and I don't think they do like the spirit of not doxing essentially. Like the intent is bad. That's my problem with it, especially is
if
like for me, doxing is especially like addresses and phone number, like email addresses, like stuff that's very like that's really hardcore line for me. The rest of it is like depends on the intent, and generally if it's bad intent, then you shouldn't be doing it. All right.
Important because
it really isn't though, but we can move on because it really isn't about how she dresses.
Me and biology really think you're a man. I'm happy to call you she for the rest so that we can move on from the pronoun thing and answer your question.
So I would say, look, she, but you have to start by calling me man. Okay, but I want to make it.
Just pausing to
say, if you are, this is your stance on trans, why did you start crossing a trans person or she? So I'm making it clear because, as we know, you guys like to dig up every single thing that I do and every single mannerism.
How have I dug up everything you've done? Out of everyone, Candace, there's been a lot of YouTubers that have come out against you. So I actually have a question here before we go. Out of all the YouTubers who have dug stuff up about you, I never made a video. I'm a YouTuber. If I don't, I was not on a stream for an hour and 15 minutes.
You were on for an hour and 15 minutes until Barbara came on the stream. I watched it.
I was not on for an hour and 15 minutes.
All right, so let's do this. Let's just to clean this up, so we don't. I just don't want to get too lost in the weeds of every little word. I think. Look, you guys know my feelings about free speech.
Right.
I'm not going to tell you what to say.
I think this is the moment he realizes he fucked up.
Yeah, he's just like, what have I done? I'm stuck here with those two harpies.
I mean, the thing is, like, they're not even.
What am I gonna do?
They're not even able to agree on basic facts, like whether or not. I don't know whether or not Blair was on a stream for an hour and a half or not. But I mean, does it really matter if she was?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't matter. Like, none of this is freaking material. None of this is germane to what we're supposed to be here to talk about today. So get the fuck to it, Candace, or get the fuck to it, Ruben. Like, control your debate.
I mean, this was definitely like, there's no structure whatsoever to this at all.
Oh, Liberal, make sure you're presenting to everybody.
Okay, let's see.
Just so it doesn't keep jumping between us when we talk.
Fair enough.
That if you want to do that, you can click on his.
Done it.
Yeah, presenting to everyone.
Yeah,
that works.
All right. Yeah, it's just this is all really side petty shit. All right.
Yeah.
Refer to Blair, and Blair can obviously defend herself. We can do all that, but just so we don't get too lost in that stuff, let's just try to stick to the original story here. I think it's fine that you premised it that way. You defended yourself. I think that's totally fine. But we could end up in the back part of this forever.
Correct.
So let's just get to the how did this whole thing start?
Okay, so the backstory to the backstory. Obviously, you know about social autopsy, but there's a very relevant part of this, which is essentially that. When I was in high school, I had an experience that happened to me, and it's something that I like to talk about factually, and I hate talking about it because it involves other people, and I'm out here talking about my opinions, my beliefs. When you're involving other people, I think it's a little unfair. When I was a junior in high school, I received one night I was sitting on a couch with my boyfriend, and I received anonymous phone calls. And at the end of watching Talladega Nights with my boyfriend, I picked up the phone, I listened to the voicemails, and they were people, 4 boys that were screaming back and forth, calling me a dirty nigger, saying we're going to tar in front of your family, saying we're going to do to you like we did to Martin Luther King, put a bullet in the back of your head, made references to Rosa Parks. It was really probably the nastiest thing that I've ever heard in my entire life. After hearing that, and by the way, this is not a victim story, it's just something that factually happened that you guys can all research. After hearing those voicemails, I went to school the next day, and I didn't call the cops or anything, but I was a little terrified because I did not know 4 people that wanted to see me dead and that hated me, period. I went to school the next day. The teacher essentially we were talking in a philosophy class. I brought up what had happened. It was like a moment where it made sense to bring up what happened the night before. And the teacher jumped up and said, like, you're going to the principal right now. You're reporting this. Like, that's very serious. Like, I want to take you right now. He picks me up, going to the principal's office, and she hears the voicemails, which I still had. There were 3 of them. And she made the decision to call the police. Like, totally I would have never called the police. I would have done it the night before. It turns out, by some random stroke of, like, super misfortune, that one of the kids that was in the car when they left these voicemails happened to be the current governor of Connecticut's son. And where this would have normally been like maybe like a tap on the finger sort of a thing, this turned into an FBI investigation. And, you know, the then mayor was making comments that were very like, you know, political. It became political. So all of a sudden, I'm in school and I've got the NAACP on the front steps. I'm very, if you know anything about me, I hate the NAACP because of this. I think that they are a trash group, and that
she hates them because probably because you know they're attention seeking. I guess is that what she?
No, she's a conservative now, and they're liberal. That's all that she needs. I mean, I am not a huge fan of the NAACP, but apparently you didn't have a problem taking their help when you needed it.
I mean,
so if you didn't like them that much, why didn't you just reject their help?
Because I mean, the thing is, like, she didn't exactly explain a reason why she doesn't like the NAACP. She's just like, I just hate them. Basically.
It's like she forgot that she's a conservative now.
Yeah.
Oh,
a little bit. It was very strange because she just kind of did that, and she kind of glossed over the fact that she had help from the NAACP by saying, "Oh no, but I don't like them. They're a trash organization." That's because she did a political 180 overnight. That's generally what happens when you're lying.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. Okay, let's continue this. I'm kind of also pausing it a little bit, just so I don't want to. You know, getting copyright strike or anything. So, but did you want to say something?
Yeah.
Nope. I'm gonna continue eating crackers.
No, I'm all right.
Blair, you don't know where I stand on anything for you to call me a fraudulent conservative. You don't know the things that I've lived through, so that was something that I didn't really understand.
A lot of things I don't understand too, so I have a million questions for you, because unfortunately you did have me blocked up until like 2 days ago over one tweet I sent to you. So
no, it was a live stream.
It was a live stream. I went on a live stream. First of all, it was not for an hour and 15 minutes. I hope people go and fact check that.
But the thing is, it's also like just contextual. Like she was blocking. Red Pill Black was blocking a lot of people. Like it was spreading around that she was basically blocking a whole bunch of people. So it's not like, you know, she's being a special snowflake basically.
Yeah, there's that. And it's like, oh yeah, she understood why she was called a fraudulent conservative.
Yeah.
I'm blocked by Red Pill Black.
She said that she changed to conservative overnight,
which doesn't happen, really. Yeah. I mean, something would like literally like a major event probably would need to happen. I think in order to just switch your political views like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
For that long, that's the first thing. The second thing is, again, you had me blocked before the live stream. You had me blocked before the live stream. So, and you've had a million people blocked. You blocked
I don't know why.
Blocked.
So that doesn't really make sense.
No, I'm just saying I'm glad that we're actually having a conversation, because prior to this, the reason why it's actually gone to the point where I have to do on the Rubin Report rather than just a quick exchange on Twitter or you making a video on your own channel is because you've blocked conversations.
So I just want to be clear. You're allowed to tweet out your trash, and I am supposed to then defend myself rather than you coming to me first for answers. Just so we're clear.
You're absolutely not supposed to defend yourself. You don't have to do anything.
Right. So you're insulted that I blocked you after you insulted me publicly.
Wait, she wasn't. I mean, Blair clearly was not insulted. She was saying we couldn't have a conversation.
She said assaulting. Did she just said assaulting publicly?
Yeah, she's messed her words up a bit. It happens.
Yeah, she also
said
she
tripped over her fucking words.
She trips over a word a fucking lot, because later she was said, "I don't negotiate with terrorists." Those
smokes. Yeah. Okay, let's get to that point then.
No, but yeah, let's do it. She trips over her words a lot. I find that Blair does it when she talks to people because she's trying to talk so fast and
Well, usually she speaks very slow, a bit slowly, and also very low. So I guess she's trying to compensate.
All right, let's play.
So what do you have? 130,000? Does that even make sense to you? Like saying that right now?
Candace, you have every right to block me. There's no, you can not respond. You can respond. You can block me. Whatever it is. What I'm saying is, people are criticizing the way that you've handled the situation. You have the backstory, which I will absolutely let you finish, but the way you're dealing with people calling out the story and calling out things that they think maybe are fraudulent, maybe they're not fraudulent, maybe you can clear that up, is you haven't actually cleared it up. You've blocked everyone. People can attest to that, everyone. Andy Worski, Bunty King, Dave Cullen, who actually provided screenshots of things he said to you. So unlike me, I can see you blocking me for calling you trash. And honestly, I'll say I'm sorry for calling you trash. That's totally fine. But as far as him, he sent like 4 or 5 very respectful tweets, just asking you for questions, asking for your side of the story. So if he made a video, he could
I would just like to, chronologically speaking, they made the videos and then asked questions. I don't do that. I'm not, I don't negotiate with terrorists.
Who gives a flying fuck if they made videos? Yeah. Alright, anyways.
You don't get to make a video about me lying, okay? And then saying, now you better come to me and answer me. Who does that? That's,
right,
that's the opposite way of handling anything.
Hold on.
It's an expression. I don't negotiate with terrorists. I take it to heart. It's an expression.
Wait, if the chat can hear this.
Doesn't negotiate with terrorists.
Hopefully does.
Will you shut the fuck up and listen to me?
Hopefully the chat can hear that. I'm trying to see if my soundboard works, but just yeah, he's just
we can't hear it either. I don't think your soundboard is working at all.
Anyways, the point is just, oh man, just
it started.
All right, let's.
Dave is so glad to be gay right now.
Otherwise, there's going to be enough people watching this that still aren't clear on the full story.
Right.
That if we go too
Dave
far
wishes
into
he
the
weren't in his damn
follow-up,
room.
we're going to get lost here. By the way, I just really quick want to mention that when you texted
at
me
the
and
end,
said,
he was looking at
liquor on your show, and I'd like to do it with Blair. I thought about it for a minute because I wasn't even sure if I wanted to get involved in this. I think that this Twitter YouTube drama causes it's partly now. We're all here because of just this drama machine that just endlessly drags everybody. But to both of your credit, you asked me to do it, and I texted you, and literally within 30 seconds, you said you would do it. And that's people should know that because we live in a time when no one backs themselves up. They hide and say all this crap. So I just want to put that out there. But let's just get through the story, and then we can do the rest.
Long story short, this was categorized as a hate crime. The FBI was involved. I was out of school for about 6 weeks, and just imagine, like, I didn't even want to report it, and then having like what felt like your entire life. It was front page of Connecticut newspapers for 2 months of people, and a lot of the stuff that you had to read, because remember, the FBI was involved, so they wouldn't make any arrests, they wouldn't do anything because they wanted to dot their I's and cross T's. They're dealing with a politician, a Democratic politician, right? And he's not being honest. He could have easily just been like, my kid did something really stupid. He's trying to be a politician, essentially. And when these arrests were finally made, or while the investigation was going on, people were just on the internet just speculating, just like, and not being aware that they were talking about children. You know what I'm saying? I was probably the eldest. I was 17 years old. This youngest person in that car, I didn't know any of them, by the way. This was like a drunk phone call. I knew one kid out of the 4 kids. The youngest kid in that car was 14 years old. So these kids are getting called racist. And I personally, like, I hate labels like racism. I hate when you call somebody racist, sexist. It really stings me because
but you refuse to call Blair by her pronouns.
Yeah. Like, oh, they didn't realize there was people that began to speculate. Welcome to the internet, bitch.
I hate identity politics, but because I identify as a conservative, I'm not going to call you by female pronouns.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. No, she stayed a snowflake, but she just changed. She's like, she just changed sides. She stayed a fucking snowflake.
Oh, I don't even think she changed sides. I'm in the camp of she's lying for attention.
I mean, she could be pure opportunist. She could also be. I mean, both sides, left and right, are not. Out of. They will send in infiltrators and stuff like that. This happens all the time in Antifa and the alt-right and stuff like that, and I'm sure it happens.
It happened during Occupy.
And I'm sure Occupy too, and not to mention the cops that are in both of these groups as well. So just everyone's infiltrating everybody. All right.
Of being reprimanded or told why it was wrong. So I'm very against label. Another thing that, from my history, I've always been very conservative on. Following this event, and I barely made it to college because of this. It was like something that was really taxing that happened in my senior year. And following this event, I developed severe anorexia. Like, it's a part of my story. It's something that you need to be sorry about. People that have anorexia are just looking for a way to control. It's a control mechanism. So I felt like my life was completely out of control, and people were basically able to freely say whatever they wanted about me, and it was permanently on the internet. Like, this situation that happened, and the NAACP fighting with politicians, and nobody gave a shit about the kids that were involved in this. Nobody cared about the kids that were involved in this. I developed anorexia. I think the ringleader, they kept calling him, that like had these kids call me, went on to have like.
Hold on, pause. So the thing is, if she feels sorry for these kids, like all this attention, nobody's getting all these kids, why then does she make Social Autopsy? Because Social Autopsy would put a lot of pressure on these people, on whoever is on these things.
Yeah,
that's putting pressure on anyone.
Like,
here's a scary tinfoil hat theory. What if she's been a conservative the entire time and she's just trying to get a shit list together?
Wait, how? Hold on. Well, because I would think it would be a shit list. It'd be left. She was at quote lefty
blackmail list
as unless you're sitting.
No, blackmail.
Oh, like you mean the people submitting?
So like rise up on that side. Yeah. Like a blackmail list is like, hey, you should do this shit that I told you, or I'm gonna show this shit to your employer.
I mean, I think in this case, if she was collecting like IP addresses of people that submit, that I'm pretty sure would definitely be illegal doxing, because that's not public information, that's private information on a website. So that would definitely.
Well, I mean, to be fair, your job is only public information if you share that it's your job. It's not like people can look that up if you don't share it.
No, I mean if you go on a website and they collect your IP address or something like that, and then you reveal it, I'm pretty sure that's illegal doxing, like actual illegal. Yeah.
Oh no, yeah, I think that's a felony.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, doxing is a felony.
All right.
I mean, there's different levels of it too, but
yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay.
Wise, he was like a closeted gay at the time. Everybody's life got ruined by this.
Oh,
and it was something that I never wanted.
I just
realized. It alive. It just was like this.
Whatever.
I just realized. It's like doxing is a felony. I just remembered all those names that she got in bank because some got doxed. Everyone individually count as a felony. It's not like the entire website.
Hey, where does GoDaddy have its servers? Because depending on where that is, she could serve them consecutively instead of concurrently.
I mean, the thing is, like, I think she was soliciting public information.
Where does she live? What if she lives? If she lives in California, she could be really fucked.
California. Yeah,
if it's California has a 3-strike rule, and after I don't remember with felonies. It's like after the 4th
rule, by the way.
If she was revealing,
it's like first one is 5 years, then each one after the first one will be like 40 years. Like Eric Clanton, the bike lock guy.
But I mean, if they give her 5 years for every single person,
40 years, he's in for 40 years to life.
Oh, did they catch him?
Oh, yeah, no, he got arrested.
Good.
Yeah.
4 different instances where he attacked someone with proof.
Yep. Even if she only goes in for 5 years per count, how many names were on that website? She could be in for the rest of her life.
20,000?
Yeah, she could be in for the rest of her life.
I think it's from the 4th, and then it's the judge that will decide. It's gonna be 40 years, this sentence, to life. It's like anywhere between, depending of what it is. So yeah, if she gets prosecuted for everything, just like, yeah, she's fucked.
All right.
Yep, and then consecutively, concurrently, like what? Yeah.
I don't think it'd be
concurrently,
probably,
even then.
If it's 20,000 names, but I mean, this is assuming all of them are, private information, but.
Because that is a life sentence.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna play it.
That's several life sentences.
This is it. Like, the internet is forever, and these things happen. You get to write about them, and you get to politicize something that's not true, right? Trumped, when I got over my anorexia, I think I was 22 at the time. It was 2012. Like, I had fully, honestly, I thought through it. It was one of those things that I had to sit down and really question, where did this anorexia come from? What am I trying to control, and what have I learned from this? I thought about children. I thought to myself, like,
what about the children?
She picked up the...
This is 2 sob stories she's told.
Wait, hold on.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Not. Like, there's a time and a place, and I'm not sure that this is it. Not sure. Granted, not saying it
isn't. Or is it like the second or
not sure this is appropriate.
3rd time that she's done the think of the children thing? This is at least the second or third
I mean,
time.
that is a common conservative shit. That's some common conservative
Yeah.
shit. Think of the children! The children's! Whenever somebody uses the words "think of the children" or "it's okay, I'm clergy," I'm immediately suspicious.
Won't somebody think of the women's?
Yeah.
Also,
the
immediately suspicious. Yeah. Think of the well, you need to think of women and minorities, like also immediately suspicious.
Yeah.
Like,
just like, would you think of them? No, fuck them. I'm thinking of everyone. It's either everyone or no one. Fuck off.
All right.
Technology is something that people don't talk about. I gave a TED talk on this, which many people that have staunchly
She
defended me have
went
seen
on
my
TED.
TED talks. They knew where my heart was
yeah,
at when
TED
I did
talk
this.
to an empty room.
I felt like kids, we are in like a different generation. You're also young as well, so you have, you know, we have Instagram, Facebook. They never had this. Like you when you were in school, I'm not trying to like make it seem like you're a dinosaur,
Why, Candace,
right?
why?
You didn't have this. You didn't have. And
He already
there are
looks
10-year-olds
defeated.
that are killing themselves over Snapchat, and it's all like just because the internet. My dad, when I was growing up, my dad had a beeper. And then all of a sudden,
there
we
was
Face of
one
regret.
case of a 10-year-old killing themselves over a Snapchat thing. That is not a trend, Candace.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like...
Yeah, that's...
the thing is, like, with these internet things, like, sometimes there'll be trends in, like, maybe one or two or something like that, but, like, ultimately, like, most people don't kill themselves over... I mean, at least there was some, like, viral social stuff, but, I mean, like, you know, most people are robust enough.
And, teenagers do kill... Yeah, you know, teenagers do kill themselves on occasion. Teenagers are going to have a higher suicide rate simply because your brain isn't developed yet. Which is also why they shouldn't be making big life decisions like fill in the fucking blank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, because your brain, you know, your brain is in flux. 1 minute you're happy, next minute you're sad, the next minute you're horny, and you have to put like a fucking notebook in front of your pants because the teacher called on you to answer the math question. You know, teenager.
Yeah.
All right.
It's full of shit.
Instagram, all of these things, and I thought to myself, what a way if I can navigate technology, right, without ruining their lives. Like, do these kids need to be arrested for saying mean things? No, I disagree with that. Like, I disagree, even though they characterized me as the victim and characterized these children as the aggressors, I felt that it was wrong.
Okay, so you created Social Autopsy with the idea that it was sort of going to almost self-police some of the kids' ability to ruin themselves.
Right. Exactly. So what we thought was, what if there was
for
a way
the
when
children
kids do these like stupid things, and we initially always thought about kids. We had to
with the self-policing. I'm sure that's what the Nazis would use if they were right now. It's like, oh yeah, we're not gonna. It's like people who denounce you to them because you're a freak. Oh no, it's for self-policing.
The other thing is, if it was self-policing, then why would you need to include work? It's just...
It's basically threatening them.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you said some nasty stuff. It would be a shame if your new school knew about it.
Pretty much. Alright, let's continue on. Oof.
Change it because people said first try it on adults, try to something a little looser because people are sensitive when it comes to children. And then we said, what if there was a way that we could archive what they say with like a no-no type of a punishment, like maybe it's held for 3 months, and everybody, like all of these schools, we were meeting with principals of schools, of high schools, before we even decided what we wanted to do, to say how can we help, what would be helpful.
So that means there were teachers, principals,
no,
and people in on this, maybe.
Here's the question. Yup. Here's the question. Is our children learning?
No, they don't.
I mean...
No, that's a George Bush reference. Never mind.
Well, yeah, I'm not.
Been a while. Alright.
I'm not funny.
What do kids care about? Well, they care about being on the football team, right? What if you said you're on Social Autopsy, all these schools have this program, you said this to Carolina, whatever it is, now you don't get to try out for the football team. Something that's like petty, you know, but
it is a petty thing.
Someone's suicide.
Because you're a petty person, Candace. You are a petty person.
I mean, the thing is,
conservative or liberal.
If you say something, the other thing is, like, if it's two high school kids saying something, then how do you prove it?
They don't deserve to be, also, like, even if they say something stupid, they don't deserve to be, like, socially pilloried for it.
Or, you know, have anorexia or something.
something mean, and because I don't think kids have the mentality, like their brains are underdeveloped. Like our brains were underdeveloped to really understand the implications of what they're doing.
Whatever that is very, very
That's when
loud.
Autopsy was born. Okay.
That's my fault.
Web developer that I was speaking to, and I was actually at the time, remember I used to work in finance, I was talking to some potential investors, and they said, as I mentioned, start with adults. Start with adults, do something like you know, build something that we can kind of see what you're thinking of how it would work in terms of archiving things, and we'll go from there.
All right, so to be clear, and then I'm going to let you jump in, when you created this, it was basically to defend some of these kids from wrecking their lives, and schools would be able to look and maybe go, oh, you actually did have a decent track record here. You said this stupid thing, but we're not going to let that do anything. And unless I'm understanding, we have to do a little something here with definitions of words, because that, what you're describing there doesn't sound to me like a doxing. A doxing website would be I'm using this site to release information about people. But you're saying basically this was going to be an archive home for schools to look at this information and sift through it. Okay.
But people can look at archives.
So
Candace.
I mean, unless she was. I mean, the thing is, I'm not sure. Was this like released? The names weren't released right yet. I don't think.
Someone was doxxed using it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Someone's family.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like then it was publicly somewhere. It's like, or I think they went through the security of the website, which makes it even worse.
Yeah, because no archive is totally safe from hackers and shit.
I mean, the other thing is that this also, like, regardless of whose side she's on, it also seems like a power grab, because if she's in control of this thing and she has her tendrils into principals, teachers, and all this other stuff, like, it just seems, like she's going for power, basically, because you have all this information at your fingertips.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I think calling it an archive, I mean, it literally is an archive, but it's also a doxing website. Anytime you publish people's personal information, it is doxing.
It's not personal information.
Why not?
Because it was public.
Because
you link.
That's still the definition of doxing. If you share someone else's...
No, it's not.
If you share someone...
No, it's not. You can't change the definition of doxing.
Hold on. I actually have the definition right here.
Good.
If you share someone else's personal finish, especially when it comes to kids. I mean, she's definitely playing the whole like wanting to protect kids thing, which I think honestly your heart could have very well been in the right place. But the reality is when you aggregate information of children and you attach it to where they go to school, which was the intent of your website. In fact, you actually said that it was the best time to be on the website if you were a child because it teaches you.
Can you slow? I literally can't follow.
It was
you right
you
now.
said that it was the best time to be on your website when you're a child because
saying she talks really like Blair talks really fucking fast.
You said that in a video.
You
there
said that
not
in a video.
a single child was on there because
I'm not saying there was.
said,
I didn't say there was.
Yeah, because we didn't want to
was.
shut off. Like if people asked questions, we didn't want to shut off the possibility of having children if we found out this worked and this was harmless and no harm, no foul.
But it's not harmless.
You were so confident that it was for the children, though, Candace.
It's literally not harmless, though.
I really don't like her. It's not harmless, no. And I was like, oh, they're adults, so it's okay.
Well, I mean, the thing is, if they're adults, then they have more to lose.
They have way more to lose than kids.
Yeah, they have more to lose.
Yeah, they have so much more to lose than kids. You can lose your job. You could, lose your fucking marriage.
All right, let's continue.
You could get kicked out of the place you live. If you rent, they can say that we're not going to renew your lease. You can end up fucking homeless.
Yeah.
All right.
I want to come out and say we're never going to put a minor on here because, again, the whole reason I thought of the idea was because of what happened to me when I was a minor.
Well, it's actually illegal to even put the child's information on there.
There was no children, so this is like a fantasy conversation right now.
It's not a fantasy conversation. It was your intent.
No.
That's what you don't really understand.
Candace, she was saying that was one of her goals, so that it is not a fucking fantasy conversation. You said that was a possibility.
She did.
Yeah, she said there's all the things like, but no one was doxxed. It's like, oh yeah, conspiracy to commit murder. That's a crime.
Yeah,
it's
that's
like
true.
Conspiracy to commit a felony. You could get, I'm pretty sure you could get something out of that. She could actually go to jail with all of this.
All right.
And GoDaddy would throw her under the bus.
Oh, they would. Yes, they absolutely friggin' would. If the FBI asked GoDaddy for the information from this website, they'd probably fold like a wet towel.
I mean, it doesn't look good at all. No.
I understand. You think that because the website didn't actually come to fruition, that people still don't have a right to criticize
That's exactly
the idea
what I
of
think.
it. That's exactly what you think. But regardless, you made it very clear that your intent was to put that information on your website. It actually violates the Children's Internet Protection Act. So it was illegal. So that's why your Kickstarter was actually
all right, wait, hold on. So let's pause for a second.
There were no children on it.
Oh my god.
Oh dear fucking god. All right, let's. I wish I could actually do it on fast speed, but this won't allow me to.
Imagination.
If this was your intent, like just so we're clear, we're here because if this was your intent, and if it had happened, even though it didn't, right,
Candace,
that's why we're pissed, and that's why we're trying to ruin everything that you are, because we have decided that
yes.
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
No, it says out of. Hold on.
I'll refresh it.
Did you kick off air?
Did you delete the video?
No.
I think you got kicked off air.
Is it?
Hold on.
I was just about to share this in my Discord.
No, it's still going. It looks like I just refreshed the page.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
It's not the same link.
Never mind.
Okay.
Idiot behind the curtain.
All right. Wait.
Policing what could have, would have, and should have happened. Is that correct?
How have I tried to ruin you?
We're dealing in coulda, woulda, shoulda.
It's not.
It didn't happen. You're admitting it didn't happen.
And this is the point where it goes off the rails.
Bring up laws right now that should have been violated, even though it wasn't violated, even though it wasn't created, because your intent is what we were criticizing. I intend to drive drunk. I don't drive drunk.
Can you let me respond?
The train has no brakes.
You're not making sense.
No brakes, my dude. You fucked up. This is a bad idea.
Yeah. You fucked up, man.
Oh gosh, this is Dave Rubin, man. All right.
I found it. Hold on, I'll see which one is. I found it in the Code of Virginia, so I think maybe it's not everywhere that a conspiracy to commit a felony, but I'll see what's the punishment for that.
All right. I'm gonna while you're doing that, I'm gonna play.
Yeah, continue.
Reveal my point to you. How are you?
It's not a dox. We need to stick with the definition of dox, because that is where things went
skewed. Like I need to be able to finish what I'm saying is the thing. Like okay. So are you telling me that it's absolutely insane and it's absolutely fantasy land for someone like you to come out and you're a staunch free speech supporter, correct? You come out and you say I support free speech. That's something you.
When did I say that? I do, but I'm asking you. You said you come out and you say that was my whole shtick.
You heard that, right?
She was asking.
Fucked up again.
She was asking a question.
Hmm?
Yeah.
It's not like Red Pill Black was. She didn't say that Red Pill Black said that. She was asking if Red Pill Black would support that. Oh, God. All right, let's keep going. Oh.
Why did I say that?
I didn't say it was your whole shtick. I said that's part of who you are and what you believe is that you are in support of free speech. Do you think it's absolutely insane for someone to question someone who supports free speech?
The reason that I support free speech is
I gotta finish. I have to finish my question. I have a lot of questions for you. You have to let me actually ask them.
Right.
Okay, so you are someone who supports free speech as part of your message as a conservative, which is a great message. Do you really think it's that crazy for people to see Red Pill Black supporting free speech and then look back a year ago and see that she tried to create a website that doxed people? And you can say it wasn't doxing, but when you publish people's information,
we're going to get to the bottom. That is not true. That is categorically false.
Let's try to clean up.
I just don't understand how it's perceived to be so insane.
First,
Fantasyland.
Two questions here. First, it's important that we address doxing, and I'm going to let you do that.
Yeah, all right. So let's just one thing at a time here, because there's a lot here. So first off, we can pull up. You're welcome to pull up the definition of doxing.
Right
I think part of what's happening here is we're struggling with a couple of. So as I said, splash page, which you did forward me some emails. You guys were referring to this as a splash page the entire time.
Splash page, what she said.
Now, in essence, that may have been some confusion by your web guy. I mean, you forwarded me the whole change. So
last February,
so
he's been calling it a splash page.
That's what her web guy was calling.
My web developer called it that.
But hold on a second.
It wasn't a splash page. A splash page is literally defined as a logo before you go into a website. You had multiple.
We were building a technology. You're not understanding this.
I'm absolutely.
No, you're not. And now you can let me finish. We were building a technology.
The thing is, this is not even a technology. It's just. It's an it went from an archive to a technology. It's not a technology. It's just it's an archive.
Yeah.
It's strictly what it is. There's nothing groundbreaking whatsoever about this.
An archive. We're building a technology. Yeah, you're inventing something that's thousands of years old.
Ugh.
An archive.
All right.
Yeah.
Website. So what he was saying is this is a splash. This is a splash of what we were actually. We never built it. That's the whole point.
Why? That's the
when you're building a technology.
Okay.
That's a lie. It was searchable. You could search for actual real people on your site.
Like 20,000 people, yeah. Oof. Alright.
So did you or did you not have a database of 20,000 plus people? That's what you've stated. There are two statements you said. There's a database of 20,000 plus people, and that it was a non-functioning splash page. One of those statements can be true. Which one is true?
What do you mean? It was non-functioning. You're not missing the point.
I think
this is what he's trying to tell you.
Hold on.
You said there was a database.
You're getting hung up. You're getting hung up on splash page. You're not listening to the fact that he's telling you that he read the emails between me and the web
developer. If it's a splash page, how come you can put in information?
Yeah, I mean,
if it's a splash page, how come you can input information?
There are, Jeff Holiday specifically did a thing, and
she's just throwing terms around, trying to derail.
It's derailment, trying to just muddy the waters as much as possible, basically.
So basically, a conspiracy to commit a felony, if you're caught before doing so, usually should be classed as a class 5 felony, like theft, battery by a prisoner, incest in South Dakota. Pandering in Arizona. I don't know how in that law it would be, because there's a lot of YouTubers that would be subject to that. Basically, in the worst one, it's up between 1 and 10 years in prison, and between $1,000 and $150,000, depending on your states, and fine.
All right, then.
Yeah, still serious. That's a class 5 felony.
Yeah, guys, Candace, what I think people are confused by is, regardless of the definition of splash page, if it was non-functioning, how did it in fact collect the information of 20,000 people?
Right. It didn't collect the information. If people are writing in the information, it was stored.
That's semantics. What do you think that word means, Candace?
She literally is like, oh, it's storing. That's collecting.
Dipshit. That's how words work.
It's like I mean, like, if a bug collector stores, it's just
Candace, Candace, that is basic effing middle school English. Not even middle school. That's
she
like
can't be this
elementary
stupid.
School English. What is a synonym?
In no way is she this stupid. She can't be this stupid. I refuse to believe she is this stupid. Ugh. All right.
So just
storing or collecting.
All right, let's just get
you
some of this here.
You understand what I'm saying about the splash?
Yeah,
we never built the technology.
Then how?
Okay, so
Candace, how do you database, and then you said it was all it ever was a non-functioning splash page.
I didn't say that. I literally quoted. I did say that. You're not listening to me. Let me finish the sentence. I did say that, but you're not listening to me. My web developer, I forwarded him all the emails from February. Did you not see these?
No,
He called it a non-functioning splash page because we hadn't yet built the technology.
Okay, so
you're making it seem like I'm a liar.
You are a liar.
That's what I wasn't okay with. It was something that was told to me by a web developer, and my web developer.
If there was a database, it's not a non-functioning splash page. So are you willing to take it back that it was a non-functioning splash page?
I am more than happy to admit, and like I said to Dave.
Okay.
Okay, so wait, hold on. I think
you didn't let me say anything. You just said go ahead and go. Let me finish my statement.
Okay, then go.
I am more than happy to admit that when I stated that, I said that. I regurgitated verbatim, and he saw the emails. What my web developer called it as soon as we started. He said, because we're not building technology yet, you don't have the money to. We had to raise money to build the technology.
You said it was fully funded.
Okay, hold on.
No, it wasn't. I never said it was fully funded.
Guys, hang on one second. So, all right, I think that's an important distinction, what we just got to there. I am agreeing with you, and I think Blair will take my word for it that I saw the emails that your web developer referred to it as a non-functioning splash page, but you're also acknowledging that that's not quite right.
Yeah, and that's
that
fine.
It did actually.
Not right. It's directly not true.
Okay, but see, the problem with you saying it's not true is that you're making it seem like I'm a liar. I was never a liar. I said what was told to me from the very time that we started this, what my web developer called it from start to finish. I said exactly what was told to me. The issue is that you're making it seem like I intentionally lied to try to hide something. That's the problem. You don't get to call somebody a liar and a fraud-ass bitch, which is what you called me 1,000 times.
Candace.
You're a fraud-ass bitch, fraud bitch. I told you exactly what my web developer told me.
I know you love to pretend you're above the ad hominems. Meanwhile, on your Twitter right now, you called YouTubers who are criticizing you bottom feeders. You called Tree of Logic a crackhead. You called.
I genuinely think she's on drugs.
Okay, that's fine.
But so what? Let's just say she is on drugs. That doesn't mean her opinion isn't valid, and that there aren't. I don't know. She's in the thousands or whatever of viewers. I mean, the funny thing is, Tree of Logic auto blocked me, but but whatever. It's just the fact is, Tree of Logic. It doesn't matter if she's on drugs. It really doesn't. I don't care. I really don't care if she is.
That is a bit foul.
I'm sorry,
it's
not a rumor.
I was muted. Is this the part where she calls Tree of Logic a crackhead?
Yeah, she's legitimate. She thinks she's legitimately on drugs.
It's funny. Everybody involved in this, I just don't like them as a person. But I don't think Tree of Logic is a crackhead. She's a former cop.
I mean, granted, like former cops can be crackheads, but the point is that.
Not yet.
But, like, you know, in all likelihood, she probably is not. Number one. Number two, it doesn't matter. Number three, again, it's an ad hominem and has nothing to do with her concerns or points.
Yeah, it's an ad hominem like Candace refusing to use female pronouns for Blair. It's just a distraction tactic. It's bullshit. There's a reason that ad hominem is a logical fallacy.
Yep.
It doesn't add anything to the conversation.
She just said I was using a doxing site in 3 weeks.
Hold on, guys.
How are you? Who are you defending? This is what I don't understand. She's right now defending an alt-right sympathizer that straight up said that I was releasing a doxing site in 3 weeks. That is the ground zero of this entire predicament. That she started fear.
Not Richard Spencer. Not Richard Spencer, like you said.
I did not say Richard. I said perpetuated. Do you know the definition of perpetuate?
You said.
Do you know the definition of perpetuate? Yes or no? I said he perpetuated it.
You said that Richard Spencer made a video on you.
I said he didn't.
You said he made one. You said he made one. When he did,
I said he perpetuated a smear campaign about me.
All right, guys.
That's exactly what I said. I never said he started the rumors
whatsoever. He made a video on you, and he didn't. There's no evidence of that.
To be honest,
he does not have a video.
To be honest, I know this is going to super hurt your egos, but I didn't watch a single one of your videos except for the Google Hangout for the first hour that you were on.
Candace, I didn't make a video on you. So
you jumped in a video chat.
Hold on.
Like own it. It doesn't matter. You were on it for an hour and a half.
Guys.
Wow.
Oh gosh.
Wow.
This is utter chaos.
Will you shut the fuck up and listen to me?
Guys. Poor Rube Dave.
Poor Ruben.
Oh no, that sucks.
He fucked up.
Yeah. I have realized the error of my ways.
See, the thing is, like, what he should, like, again, there's no formal structure. He at this point, like, he should have just laid down some rules, like, one person talks, and then another person talks, and then just back and forth. That's it.
Yep.
Because they're...
Look at his face in this shot. That is the face of a man that has seen defeat. He has looked into the eyes of death, and death laughed at him.
This is the eyes of a broken man.
Alright, let's continue. Goodness me.
15 minutes. Let's quote Blair. She's such a mess. This is going to be, like, honestly, intellectually, like, it's going to be hard to get through. She's such a mess. The fact that anyone believes her is so sad. She's a fraud. She's a fraud. She's a fraud-ass bitch. No, these are not hip-hop lyrics. She's such a joke. She's so stupid. This bitch thinks she's going to change everything, and she's not. Especially after going on...
What is she even reading off? I assume these are, like, tweets or messages that she's getting. So she's pulling the victim card, basically.
Oh my god, Twitter... Twitter is not a citable source.
I mean, if she prints out a paper, like, I can write, you know, you're a bitch on a piece of paper 100 times. Doesn't mean somebody sent it to me. Anyways.
Well, at least 100 person must have sent that to her, of course.
If I ever do another rant video, I'm going to be reading from a piece of paper, and then at the end of it, I'm just going to be like, oh, by the way, this is all off of my head. The only thing that's written on this piece of paper is a dick, and then end the video.
That would be great. All right, let's continue.
Have a big audience, and to them watching, my apologies. I have a lot of respect for them
because they have a big audience.
Because let's keep it real. Where is she gonna go after that? Some dumbass bitches are still believing her. For people that believed me, you're all dumbass bitches. She's a complete SJW, and people are so dumb. By the way, this beef with her
this is Tree of Logic's post. This is Tree of Logic's post.
Most likely.
I mean, again, I don't care. I care so little about this.
Who the hell cares?
Oh, and also now Tree of Logic is suing her.
Oh, really?
Really?
Oh, because the crack addict?
She's suing her for libel. Yeah, because for the crack whore thing. Or the crack addict thing. Yep, she's suing her for defamation. I can't remember if it's slander, defamation, or libel. I can't remember which one. That would be covered.
Libel?
Defamation.
Libel is written. Slander is spoken.
I think it would be, libel's written.
Yeah.
And libel, I think, is written. Defamation. Hold on.
Defamation is a little libel.
Yeah. Defamation is just in general. Yeah. Libel is really written down.
And then there's, so it would be slander.
Alright.
Yeah, it's slander and libel is written down. Slander is verbal, and defamation is in general.
Yeah, defamation is a little bit broader because it can be something that you didn't do intentionally.
Yeah.
But it still hurt them.
She literally says, from the second I saw her, I thought, wow, that's definitely an act. This is honestly envy dressed up as righteousness.
Guys, you gotta give me a chance to moderate this thing. Otherwise, we're just going to be crossed up all over.
Moderate.
Okay. So it sounds like to me, I'm just trying to get to facts here because I get it. We can do this all day.
I still prefer to believe there's a giant dick written on that paper.
That everyone sent to each other and all the mean little things, and that's what everyone, all the people that I think are the bad actors in this, and all the people that just want us to relentlessly fight.
All they want.
There's nothing that's going to make them happier than to watch you two just scream at each other. So So I am going to try to get it to something a little above that. Okay, you made the site. You made what was referred to in your documents as a non-functioning splash page.
Correct.
You are acknowledging that it did take in information, meaning that people could submit information, but it was Facebook
and
pages
it wasn't Splash
and things of that matter. You are not denying that.
No,
so
absolutely not denying that.
You accept that?
Denying what? Sorry.
That the site that was being referred to as a non-functioning splash page
had a database.
Did take information. And
Right,
you were not denying that.
No, not at all.
Now, as I understand the definition of doxing, but this is, I think, where maybe we could get a little lost in the exact specifics, is that doxing would only be if that information was released, right? I don't think doxing is taking in information.
And it has to be personal information.
So you're saying, well, you're just
an address, an email address, something that you could stalk and harass that person.
Just to be clear, all the site did was take in public information.
Public information. That's why they were linked. This is what was so funny, like watching this like ridiculous stream with them. Is like he's like, yeah, I know that these profiles are real because I found people on Facebook. We found the people on public. We didn't even find them. Like we didn't search for people's names. It was like publicly on Facebook. Like if you jump in on CNN's wall. And by the way, this was all for a test. This was all for a test. So even us taking those names, these weren't people that we were even going to have on a database. Period. It was just a testing phase so that we could go out to investors and get funded. That was it.
Okay, now let's pause for a second. I want to give you an opportunity.
So now it's a testing phase. Wait, hold up.
I mean, the thing.
So now it's a testing. Yeah, it's a testing phase now. So it's not a splash page anymore, Candace.
I mean, the thing is with the splash page, like, if it's taking information in, I don't think that's really a splash page, though. Then
no, that's now an archive.
If
it's an archive that maybe wasn't released to the public just yet.
A splash page only, I think a splash page only just is there to be pretty. It does nothing.
Yeah, it's not functional.
I'll look up a splash page in the meantime, but let's keep going around. Sort of never.
No, I know what it is. It literally is like a splash page is literally a non-functional proof of concept for a website that you can like pitch to a company or something. When you press the buttons, they generally don't go anywhere.
Yeah, in this case, then we're clearly not.
Yeah,
a testing phase.
Yeah.
The problem is a lot of those people that were in your database were doxed. Were actually doxed. Again,
what do you mean they were actually doxed? Say what doxed means to you.
If you look at the Kiwi Farms link that people are spreading around, there are people posting in that thread, sharing their personal addresses, and yes,
that's bullshit. There was never. I'm not gonna lie to that. There was never a line for that to be included on my website. I don't care what Kiwi Farms did because they doxed me too.
Listen, they didn't get the address from your website. See, if you look.
So then I didn't dox them.
Listen.
Let her finish.
When you create a digital, basically hit list of online bullies, you're enabling vigilantes to go onto there and enact doxing whatever they want to do. These people's businesses were.
She's now accusing me of what Kiwi Farms did. This is crazy.
Well,
if I take a screenshot of your name and your tweet,
tell me what this looks like.
It's not from my website. So how are you accusing me of that?
The point is, when you create an online digital hit list of online bullies.
This was done for this. This is done for this. I'm sorry. This is done for this.
Someone's address someone got because
Can I ask
that
you a
person was on
question?
your list.
What year was that posted? What year was that posted?
It was last year, the same time everything happened with your website. It was last year.
He's not even saying anything. He's just like trying to hold up his hand to like block the sound waves from going. Oh gosh, Ruben, man.
Please, God, let me out of this place.
I'm telling you, this is a defeated man. He fucked up so much by letting these two women in the room at each other.
He is now the most gay man in the world.
You know.
Yeah, because he's got his balls.
I have a feeling he might go on another retreat for like a month just to decompress from this.
He's just like mainlining alcohol, just like, oh god.
Yeah, I think that's
Blair
it.
White
I
and
think he's
Candace
just
Owens
gonna.
were in the same room.
I think he's just gonna take the full month to sober up after what happened.
No, that's what's gonna happen. He's gonna go. He's gonna be on the beach somewhere, and somebody's gonna ask, "So what happened to you? You look like shit." And he's gonna be like, "I put Blair White and Candace Owens in the same room." And they'll be like, "Oh fuck, here's the picture."
Yeah, it's like, why are you drinking, man? I got Candace Owens and Blair White in the same room. It's like
they just
I'll
hand
take
him the
whatever he
picture.
has.
No, they just leave him the fucking mojito picture at that point and walk away.
All right.
Because Zoe Quinn attacked us and started trying.
All right.
You're missing the point.
Just to be clear. So what you were
she doxed my family on Kiwi Farms.
Okay. Hang on a second. So just to be clear, what you're showing me
And that sucks,
here.
and that's horrible.
I don't care. Honestly, it wasn't that serious. I think even that is being blind proportion. Nothing happened. Everybody's alive. It was just like nobody. It's been 18 months. Nothing happened. There were pictures and names. That is all you guys have ever been able to do. They're not on social autopsy.
Listen to me. On your website, pictures and names. On your website.
So she's admitting it's pictures and names. How the hell is that a dox? You can Google someone's name and get pictures. Is that a dox?
Hold on. Your
concern.
Oh
my God. My point is the intent, Candace. The point is when you create a digital hit list of people who are online bullies, especially when it comes to a lot of the times it's conservatives and people who are on this. The reason why these people are on there, you can see their comments that they made. The reason why they're put on the website.
Okay, but
vigilantes
doesn't matter that they're fucking conservatives, Blair. It doesn't matter they're fucking conservatives or liberals. This is just shitty.
Yeah. I mean, granted, they're on the Rubin report, so there's going to be a lot of conservatives, generally. But
yeah,
it was a trash idea. It was an Orwellian nightmare. People went to it, abused it.
It never launched.
I'm aware, but the information, the database was still accessible from people. That is the problem. You never officially launched it, and thank God, it never came to full fruition. However, that information was still accessible.
Them? It was again. George corrected me on the splash page. My bad. It's not a proof of concept. It's used to promote a company, service, or product, or used to inform the user of what kind of software or browser is necessary in order to view the rest of the site's pages.
So it's like a testing page, essentially, then? Ish?
It's like a landing page, more.
Okay.
So I guess that's not necessarily a non-functional website, but still.
I mean, to be honest, like, at this point, it's...
So that's even worse.
It's semantics. It's really just...
That's even worse, because that's a fucking landing page.
It's really semantics.
It's
semantics. Like, the intent was to publicly, essentially, out people. And in essence, enabling doxing. That was the intent.
Yeah. Yeah, that's as Blair was saying. She's basically making a hit list.
Yeah.
Businesses were put out there. People's home addresses.
Can I just ask you a question? To play.
Oh. All right.
Oh, I don't hear no Blairs.
Guys.
All right. Let's continue.
Is Wolfshot back here?
Just give me one second. She did make one distinction there, which is that it wasn't your site
and that's
that
the most
did
important
the
thing.
doxing.
Okay.
So but that's an important.
That was never my.
Okay,
argument.
but I think it's important that we at least get that out. So you're not.
I would like to play devil's
claiming...
advocate. I have a question. Okay. So my website had a picture and a name, and you said their intentions were clear. So if I go on Facebook right now and I look under a post under CNN, okay, and I see that a person says something that I don't like.
It's public. However,
I didn't finish my goddamn question. Calm down. Take a deep breath.
You calm down.
Calm down.
I
Seriously.
you. You're cursing
Seriously,
and yelling.
calm
I interrupted
down.
you.
Calm down.
Okay, Candace. Okay.
Damn is the worst. You've been calling me a fraud ass bitch and all these names, but now she's offended by damn.
Sorry for that, but you're not above it because you called Tria Cockhead. You called people.
I genuinely think she's on drugs.
Honestly, I think you're both. I actually think you're both above it. We can
let me finish my question. So if you're saying that the point is that people can find something, follow my train of thought. People can find something that they don't like and they think that this person is a hit list.
That point there was the point of no return.
Yeah.
Yeah, he never, at this point, he never regains control of this for the rest of the time.
Okay. This is going to be great.
Yeah. He's totally unable to regain control.
Because again, like he's not laying down the law. He's the host. He needs to just
he needs balls.
Yeah,
I mean that's ironic because he gets a lot of balls.
Yeah, you know what they look like, dude. Yeah, you know exactly what they look like. You got two examples right in front of you. Can you use them, please? You're a gay man. You're very familiar with balls.
Just go onto Facebook.
He doesn't know how to moderate.
Because if you look at the comments...
Yeah, he just... Has he ever... Well, I mean, I think this is the first time he's even had 2 people on the stream, or close to it, at least. He usually does one-on-one.
Yes.
Yeah.
People who actually use your website to dox people, and again, they dox them, not you. If you listen to people commenting, they're saying this is the resource we're using. They went to you as a resource to collect names, and they dox those people based on the mean comments that they said online. That's the reason why.
That's what we did. Why do you need a database?
You can do that. The problem
this is something that Blair never brought up, I don't think. If this is some underfunded website, this is basically a loosely protective archive of all these people's information. Is anybody going to bring up the fact that this could have just been like popped into?
I mean,
at
security. Yeah, security is the problem. I mean,
yeah,
especially like with Facebook. Facebook is asking people to upload their nudes in order for the Facebook to take them down or whatever, and it's just like, this is not suspicious at all. And not weird.
When is the next happening will be from Facebook.
I'm so happy I erased my Facebook. I will upload my nudes on my time. Thank you very much.
I mean, the other thing also, like with this is, if they're uploading their nudes to Facebook, like what happens if they're underage? Because like that's just.
Oh my God! Facebook supports child porn.
just as a question.
It's whistling.
You know? Oh, all right. Let's continue.
Understanding.
It's like you're not understanding. It's already on Facebook.
When you create,
you're upset at the second source, not looking at the first source.
No, when you create a digital hit list of online bullies,
you're calling it a digital hit list. You're changing the narrative here.
People who want to take advantage of that will go to it and they will dox people, and it happened.
If they really want to do that, why don't they go to Facebook? Why are you waiting for us to do it?
Do you admit that people were doxed as a result of social
No, I've never said. No, absolutely not. I have no idea.
Really? No one was doxed as a result of your website.
I have no idea. You didn't bring us. You're now asking me what could have happened. For all I know, you put this up today.
I didn't put it. Everyone can go to Kiwi Farms then and look up. I'm sure if you Google keywords.
Okay, but she's showing me something that's not my web. This is crazy to me. This is like
I never said it was your website.
Hold on,
you said it on the time. You said I was doxing people. Your exact words was I was doxing people. You tweeted out that I doxed people.
They
you
are using
this
your
could
website.
be abused. You literally said that. That's not what you said in your tweet. You said I doxed people. Was that true?
Oh, this was all worth it. Oh,
I told you, it's like he's not even there now.
Really not.
They don't give a shit.
Okay.
I'm saying
was that true?
Used your website.
Was that true? They say I dox people. Was that true?
Directly, Social Autopsy did not dox people.
So then say, take it back.
However,
take it back. You tweeted something that was false. Take it back.
What did I tweet exactly? I said
she doxes people.
No, I didn't. I said
yes, you did.
I directly.
Yes, you did.
I take it back.
I directly
Dave Rubin is the most likable person here. It's because he's saying the least.
Yeah, it's simple. It's simply, and Dave right now is glad that all the ropes and blunt objects have been locked up beforehand.
Oh God! I mean, I see a couple of lamps and stuff like that. That could easily.
He's gonna be really upset when he finds out they locked up the alcohol too.
I think at the end he was looking at his
oh yeah, because the philosopher was saying, "I don't want to be with you two. You're reminding me why I started banging dudes."
Yeah, it's just simply how he's like with what do you think? He was looking at his liquor cabinet with lust.
Asking people with a question.
All right.
Question mark, as in a question. That was your chance to clear it up. But
No.
Ladies,
and said that I dox people 1,000 times, and then you clarified a couple of days on Twitter when I asked you straight up. You said all I said was that you dox people.
All right. Ladies.
You have been saying I dox people. Don't backtrack. It's cool to be wrong. I just said I misused the word splash page. Why can't you say that you lied about doxing?
Candace, listen. If I misspoke and said that you directly dox people, that's incorrect. But I will say right now, just listen. Just listen. You almost jumped. Just listen. I will say your website was used as a resource for doxers. It was, and you're looking.
Look. That's a big
all right, guys, you gotta grab me a second here to.
Please, one question. What do you expect, Candace, when you create a website that attaches people and their mean comments to their employers, their school, etc.? What do you think is actually going to be the result of that? People are going to call the school. People are going to call them. That's what's going to happen.
All right, let's pause for a second.
That's the result of the website.
Okay, so
That's
with
the
that
whole
question
point.
in mind, first off, I think she is. All right, it sounds to me, if we could just try to calm for a second. You are acknowledging that that the site itself was not doxing people, but that the lists, and what you're saying is I can't control what people did with that list. Fair? All right, we got somewhere there. Okay.
But it's like saying you can't control what people do with the list, but you create.
You could just go on Facebook and find the people.
But hold
on, exactly what we did. They were screenshots of what someone said.
Listen.
That's like me taking a screenshot of Chelsea Handler the other night saying I think about Republicans, right? And then holding onto my phone and then someone going, oh, people use that to dox Chelsea, so you're at fault. That's crazy. That literally doesn't make sense.
No, there's a complete difference.
I mean, the thing is, like, if
Dave is such a cock.
Somebody
exasperated side.
If somebody used, the analogy was what? Like, if somebody uses took her phone and used it to dox somebody, right? That was the analogy, right? So the thing is, if you gave them the phone, then you're involved. Like, if you hand them the phone, essentially knowing that the possibility, like, they have intent, there is intention, essentially, like. There are crazy people online or ruthless people online, and they will do this. Like, it's just like you're complicit.
Yeah, they're lucky that it wasn't me in place of Dave, because at some middle of the stream, they were just being allowed. Shut the fuck up!
I would be like, look,
bitches.
It would be like, hey, okay, both you cunts, shut up for 5 seconds.
I know, just a big
her
scream.
Yeah, I was like, her turn, 2 minutes. Her turn, 2 minutes.
I mean,
yeah.
Because neither.
I kind of wonder, like, because I think Dave's husband is the producer for the show. So I'm wondering, like, is he like on the sidelines, just like not doing anything? I guess, like I don't know.
He's probably laughing his ass off. He's just like,
never watch with the it might as well. I told you.
Yeah,
I told you.
I mean, the thing is, like, this.
All right, babe, I told you, I love you, but I told you this was a bad idea having those two bitches in the same room.
Okay.
Because the information was still coming and it was access.
Wait, guys, pause.
I saw like 6 or 7.
All right, let's pause for a second.
And all those people were hurt as a result of your website. All of them.
Let's pause for a second. You acknowledge
she doesn't care.
This was
Blair
misguided.
just keeps going.
I've said it.
So
every interview.
So I think that's that's an important piece here. So I don't think she's denying that another site could have grasped this information and then done the doxing. You're acknowledging that her site.
What was that? What was that?
Fucking.
All right.
Did not do the doxing, and she's acknowledging that it was misguided.
I've said that 1,000 times, which is why this is just a witch hunt, because I've already said that. I've already said that. And then the thing is, I'm not comfortable with you pretending that you did not put out there. All you guys said 1,000 times over was that I dox people, I dox people, I dox people.
Oh, holy shit, their voices are annoying the shit out of me.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Yeah, Blair has the Valley Girl accent.
Yeah, no. Part of the reason I don't watch Blair is because I find her voice annoying.
I watched her in the past. I haven't watched anything recently, so I would need to see if she's changed.
I don't find her that interesting to keep watching her regularly.
She's a drama channel.
Yeah, like half of YouTube.
I mean, the thing is, like, in a couple, like, she was like going after Riley Dennis and stuff like that. Those were fine, I think. But outside of that, I don't remember too many that I've watched, but. I don't know. Well, because I mean, she's also like she's officially like conservative now. She said so. It's I don't know. Anyways,
she's conceding the point there.
She's allowed to be incorrect. I'm called a liar.
Okay, but she's conceding the point there. She's agreeing that you did not dox anyone.
I did not dox anyone, and you realize how harmful that is to take a narrative of something that was well intended. I realized very quickly, which is why Mike Cernovich came to my defense. I met him. Honestly, like, it should be beneath you, but I guess it's not. That's why I met Mike Cernovich right when this was going down, when I got attacked, and I realized that the reason why I didn't want to launch this website was because I literally realized that it was going to be a tool for SJWs to attack conservatives, and we had nothing to do with politics. So when this girl, who she's for some reason defending, posted this this original smear, she said that I was launching this website and was going to turn it against conservatives, use their money, okay?
Yeah.
And like the whole reason I stopped the project was I realized it was going to be politicized and it was going to become a weapon that I never intended.
Okay. I want to give you a chance to talk uninterrupted for a second. But do you believe her intentions there? Because I think part of this.
I said that no one who does bad things acknowledges themselves as bad. Everyone has good intentions. No one does a bad thing and really thinks before they do it. This is a bad thing.
But do you believe that when she had the realization that this was the wrong thing, that's a genuine realization? Because obviously when she was intending it, of course, it was intended to be good. I don't think anyone...
Probably. But I really have, like, I know we're getting stuck on the definition. I have so many questions I want to ask because I've been blocked for so long. There's questions I want to ask. So you stated on your Patreon, Tree of Logic was paid to lie. Do you have evidence of that?
Right, no. So my
You don't have evidence?
No, I don't have evidence of it, but I 100% believe. And by the way, you kept making it seem like I was saying you were paid to lie or any of the people that you hang out with. Absolutely not.
She did, though. If you watch one of the videos she put on Facebook, she was basically saying they're like paid trolls and the deep interwebs or whatever after me. It was like really tinfoil.
The deep web website.
Like really.
The deep web, Kiwi Farm.
Yeah, because Kiwi Farms is totally deep web. I don't even. I would bet money that she doesn't know what 4chan is. Like before all of this or whatever, she doesn't know what it is or been on the site at least. Just not.
Answer yourself.
No, I want you to finish answering that. Seriously.
You didn't because you cut me off.
Well, I'm letting you go now.
What I was saying too was that the highly suspect thing to me was Richard Spencer. Richard Spencer, for a long time, this was not my theory or my conspiracy, has been considered to be a Democratic operative. People
like because between this and the Liz Reptile thing, I kind of have just a perpetual headache this week.
Wall Street, like boycotting on Wall Street as like a very liberal person, and all of a sudden he's the leader of the white nationalist party, and every time he appears, he seems to be attacking Donald Trump, trying to pretend that this is the brand of Donald Trump. So this person who...
We were all liberals here. Why couldn't he be a liberal in the past? Why is that only afforded to us?
It doesn't matter. I'm explaining.
Who are they talking about? Is it Richard Spencer?
I can't hear anything.
Oh, you can't hear anything?
No.
Well, it's stopped right now.
Yeah, it's paused right now.
No, it's like totally quiet.
Where?
Are you still looking at the screen? The watch two together? Because you can control it and pause it as well.
Oh, I haven't changed anything.
Okay, I'm gonna try play again. Tell me if you hear it.
That this isn't something that I started with Richard Spencer. This isn't my conspiracy theories. So if you're trying a tinfoil.
Refresh the page.
Changed.
Yup.
Yeah. All right, let me put the link in. And just.
No, I can just refresh this page. Should just be able to. Uh-oh. I think I'm having...
Oh, alright. Nope. She's gone. We'll wait. We'll give her a second to come back.
Yeah.
Let me check on Twitter. Man, I mean... the thing is, like, the interesting thing is they haven't even gotten past, like, a couple of the, like, they're crawling through these points. It's insane how slow. And it's just, I mean, I guess the question is how much of this pulling back on this website was, pressure, or just her realization. I mean, maybe it could be. I guess it could be both, but.
It was whole pressure.
Yeah.
Because when she realized, it should have been instant.
I mean, because the thing is, I believe also, like for a while the website was up, even as she was, sort of publicly, like, like essentially getting castigated for it, and she didn't think to take it down.
Yeah.
It's
she had some connection problems.
Okay. I think I'm just gonna. I mean, I don't think she's gonna miss much. I'm just gonna play it a little bit keep going.
Yeah. Well.
And try to essentially make it gaslight me, make it seem like I was conspiracy theorist.
You made statements you
to answer your question.
Provide evidence that Tree was
you
paid.
couldn't provide evidence that I was doxing people, but you said it. My point is that so for Richard Spencer,
we're not even halfway through.
For this video to be online, this girl makes a crazy, insane video saying that I'm going to launch this website in 3 weeks, that I'm using conservative dollars. Absolutely nuts. It's nuts. You keep saying I think she's crazy. I think she's out of her goddamn mind. I'm being 100% honest with you. Okay? He retweets it in a matter of 24 hours. That just seems like
okay. So I think there. All right. So before we get
a retweet,
but hold on. I think there is something interesting to that because we all discussed this before. I discussed with both of you separately beforehand. That we know sort of the rhythms of the internet and how suddenly we've all been through this, right? There's been times where people were endlessly and relentlessly and unfairly attacking you. I've been through it. You're through it now, and it goes in phases. They see someone kind of moving on up, and then everyone jumps on it.
Right.
It does seem a little odd to me, but again, I don't.
It was odd.
I always quote Carl Sagan: "Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence." So I can't.
But it's not.
But something seems odd to me that why would Richard Spencer get involved in this?
Odd. If you can't acknowledge
but I have nothing.
All he did was retweet something. He retweeted something.
It's just weird to be saying about someone who. Okay. Do you not think it's weird that somebody who has a really small following was able to get all the way to Richard Spencer in 24 hours? You don't think that's weird? You're just like,
either way, we're not going to know what the answer. The truth is, but guys, the truth is, we're not going to know the answer.
We're not going to know the answer to that.
There's nothing that you can tell me that's going to.
And I'm pretty sure she's an alt-right sympathizer.
I have a problem with saying we don't know the answer to that because at the end of the day, she made a direct claim and she can't prove it. So saying we don't know the answer to it, it's kind of like giving credibility to the fact that it might be a thing. It's
What's
just
interesting
not.
is that you have all these notes, but you said you didn't even watch her video, and you are co-signing. You're defending her. She's an alt-right sympathizer. Like you're sitting across and you're defending Richard Spencer and a woman that literally sounded like she was on crack cocaine.
Again with the crack, it doesn't. I mean, the thing.
Salty.
The thing is the.
Yeah.
Oh, you back? Okay.
Yeah, Chrome shut the bed.
Okay.
Nope.
I mean, because the weird thing is, like, so for those of you who don't know who Tria Logic is I don't know if she still describes as this, but she describes herself as an ally of the alt-right. And so like, from her going to, from her her video or whatever, and tweets and stuff going to Richard Spencer, it doesn't seem all that much of a stretch. Like, it really doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
If you're an quote ally of the alt-right,
the reason I don't like Tree.
Yeah, it's just. Let's see how many. I'm looking at right now. See how many YouTube like people she has basically. She I think she's in the like thousands. She's got 68,000 people. Like any number of them could have sent this to Richard Spencer. This is tinfoil stuff.
A conspiracy about me, which you basically are co-signing.
When did I defend?
And she was more upset by the fact that I said something about Tree. Tree made a whole video about me. You don't have one. You didn't say one thing about
Candace, I think both of you.
I'm not.
But it's ridiculous. No, but you are a little bit of an alt-right sympathizer, right? Because you're sitting here.
I'm an alt-right sympathizer. Did you just say that?
I'm asking you a question. I'm asking you a question.
Did it crash again?
I think the watch together now, like, but
no, it's still going.
No, for me. Can I get the link again?
Sure. Okay. So just, I mean, the thing is, like, it doesn't even matter if Richard Spencer retweeted this because everybody should be concerned about this. Everybody. No matter what side you are on, you should be concerned about this because this is essentially dox enabler, or even worse because it had job where they worked. So that's even in some ways it could be worse than doxing. Because like if you dox and give somebody's address, like I mean, granted they could get people visiting or stuff like that, but also losing your job is also huge.
That's worse.
In some ways, it could be worse. Yeah.
Question. Why are you sitting here? I'm asking you a question. Why are you sitting here instead of saying, you know what? her video was way out of line and there were a lot of lies. You're not presenting any of the lies in the campaign that you helped perpetuate. Perpetuate being the operative word. Why aren't you? Why stop tweeting it? I didn't answer you. I didn't answer you. I can point it whoever the hell I want to.
You can do it, but you're being really
okay. Like it's
ridiculous. Give her a
Candace.
chance.
Me saying that there's contradictory, stuff going on with you saying that ad hominems aren't how you win, it's low and it's childish. When you've called her a crackhead, that was me pointing that out. That was me saying that clearly, and this is where we can all find common ground, that we clearly have not all been the best. We've all used ad hominems. You refusing to answer Dave Collins' questions and then saying that she's a crackhead, so she's not worth responding to.
Right, that's how I felt.
That's you giving up the debate.
No, I genuinely think she sounded like she was on drugs.
You can genuinely believe that, but that's still an ad hominem.
Sure.
So that's what I'm saying. That we're none of us are above that.
Okay.
You called all the YouTubers bottom feeders. None of us are above that. We've all.
I genuinely think that's why I didn't answer. Your answer to the question of why I didn't answer is that anybody that dedicates, especially in the sphere of what's going on in the world today, right? We've got like terrorist attacks happening, everything that's going on with the Trump presidency, the invasion.
She's like, I genuinely believe that. It doesn't make it not an ad hominem. I mean, you can generally believe in Xenu. It doesn't make him real.
In the Middle East, in terms of Russian the Prince, anybody that dedicates 5 videos to talking about me and something that never launched, like, it's just a little weird to me. It's like I have better things to do than deal with bottom feeders.
I think we can all agree that we wish YouTubers would make better quality videos.
Yeah, just putting that aside. And I perceive these people, and this is like,
Dave, you have a production
credit
crew.
to you. I understand these YouTubers.
No, really, like, fuck him. He has an entire production crew and tons of money behind him, and he's like, oh, you need to make better quality videos out of your fucking living room.
I mean, the thing is, like, realistically, I don't think his production values or his production costs can be that high, right? I mean, he literally sits and allows the person to talk, maybe interjects a few times, and that's it. Like, what else does he need? Like, it's also in his home. Like, I'm sure he's writing part of that off. Like, all right, anyways.
Talking for an hour and 15
Wait,
minutes.
this is from his house?
Yeah, this is in his house.
This is in his house? Oh, he's one to fucking talk.
I mean...
Make better videos, Ruben.
It's literally just him sitting there, and that's it. Like, I mean, maybe a little chopping, chop it up into little pieces, upload it, that's it. Setting up lights... I don't know. He has the lights.
Calling me a fraud, Candace, saying that I doxed people, and saying that it was gnarly of what was going to happen to children because of what I did.
Right, because you had the intention of putting children.
There were no children ever. Intention, you guys have the intention. There were no children on there ever.
And is that not what I said?
You saw seven names.
Is that not what I said? That it could have been used for bad things. That's what I said.
Could you imagine if we lived in coulda, woulda, shoulda land all the time?
Right. Okay, but
it's like insane.
Oh my God.
Okay, but that being said, you do acknowledge that.
Can you imagine if we lived in a world where
information-
Candace wasn't a cunt? It'd be such a happier place.
I mean, the thing is, like, it's like the coulda, shoulda, woulda. Like, if people are planning on blowing up a building, like it's just like, it's like the intent and sort of her whole intent is relevant, and it is bad. It's just like, all right.
That information could have got hacked into, et cetera, even if that was not your intention.
Absolutely. I knew that
it's not even possible. It was. People were docked as a result of the information
a year ago. How come I haven't been sued a year ago?
The whole thing was a year ago.
How come I haven't been sued?
You're here talking about the whole situation a year ago.
I know. Well, how come I haven't been sued if these people's lives were completely ruined, if it happened a year ago?
Candace, I don't know. Ask people who didn't choose to sue you. I don't fucking know.
Okay.
All right, but I think you're both getting some points here, and it's hard to not get lost in this person said this on this video, and we tweeted this and that whole thing. You are admitting that this was more than a splash page by the functional definition of what splash page is. Okay. You are also admitting that your intent, I think you're accepting that her intentions were not to dox, that her intentions were good, right? When this thing started, or did we get that far?
I think that
just let her answer.
I think that as she has said, it was incredibly misguided. I think that even though, it was a third party that went and used her information to dox people. That's what happened.
Okay,
so like
and you're not denying that people they were doxxed but not because of what you did.
I can't apologize for that.
I would say I would argue that they were doxxed because of what she did, because they used
They could have gotten it on Facebook.
Listen, yes, they could have, but at the end of the day, they didn't. They used your website as a resource.
This to me doesn't make any sense.
Talk about would you're saying they could have gotten it from Facebook. What do you mean? They used your website.
Hold on, this is, and one of you can give me
the stuff is on Facebook. Ours is just an archive of what's on Facebook.
They would have never saw those people. They found it because it was on your website.
Okay, but they can also just go look at the comments. No. It's not about admitting. I've already consented to you. Okay, I've already conceded to you that they could have. Okay, absolutely. Gone on my website and they could have found these people. But they did. But they also could go on Facebook and do that every single day. So you're making it seem like we created some special thing that they couldn't have access. People saying mean things.
It specifically was special though. Like it's an archive. I don't understand how this is a point that isn't. Anyways.
With their names website because of the fact that they were on your website.
Okay, but that was from Facebook. It was an archive of what was on Facebook. Do you understand what I'm saying? It already exists on Facebook.
Guys, we're running in circles here.
This doesn't make sense to me.
I have a Facebook account, so that means...
Yes, I got it from Facebook. Of course I have Facebook accounts. I got it from Facebook.
I know you got it from Facebook.
Facebook is still lying.
And the doxers
I hope you guys go after Facebook.
And the doxers got it from your website.
So I, as far as I can tell, what she's saying there is true, but you are acknowledging, A, that wasn't the intention, and that you were misguided in create. I mean, it seems to me that this whole thing...
I didn't understand internet culture when I created this at all. I wasn't on Twitter. I didn't understand that there was this culture war going on. As I said, I know you chuckled. I met Mike Cernovich, who was incredibly intelligent, so I have nothing bad to say about him.
Sorry, people with differing political opinions aren't allowed to talk on the internet anymore because there's a war going on, and half of us are Nazis and half of us are Nazi.
I mean, that basically was
from David Sherratt. The centrists are worse than the Nazis.
Yes, it was.
Oh yeah, look at I don't even.
Some people will say
on the fence.
I mean, the thing is, like,
bunch of bastards.
I also love how she's, she's like, oh well, they dedicated 5 videos to me on this. Well, maybe they're really concerned about this. I mean, like, it's just because somebody, it's just. Like, just because there are...
I mean, like, screw the fact that somebody might be using their freedom of speech to address something that they're genuinely concerned about. No, they're supposed to make just, petty drama bullshit.
Or just, like, okay, so the other thing also is she's like, oh, but there's, like, terrorist stuff and like that. So what happens then if people, like, make 10 videos of terrorism stuff? I mean, like, it gets old, firstly. It's just... That's how you bore your audience.
Hey, by the way, Candace Owen still has a shit ton of salt.
Yeah, she has a lot of salt.
Blair White has the video of being, you have told me 2 years ago the conservative railing behind me, this figure of a woman called me a man on a show and I assaulted on the street. But you're a man, you have a penis, that's not offensive, it's a biological fact. Sorry you got assaulted though.
Oh, she's...
Yeah, sorry about your subscriber being in the negative every day since the show.
Is this...
Wow.
So this is Candace Owens talking about Blair White's assault or whatever?
Assault, yeah. And that was yesterday at 8 in the night.
Have a penis? It doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, she still has.
I think she got it removed. I think officially is...
It's just a bonus for me.
No, I don't think she's gonna have that one, or she doesn't have enough money yet.
From what I've spoken to, she said she considers her transition complete, and I'm just like, hey, if you're happy with the way your body is, that's great.
Yeah,
that's good. I'm happy with that. Some of them keep it because sometimes you can lose feeling if you get the surgery.
Yeah, I know.
That's no fun. That's no fun then. And she's in a relationship, so it's double plus not fun.
Yeah. I don't know.
And also, if you have ever seen a post-surgery male to female, that's not pretty.
I
apparently they've gotten better.
I haven't looked into this.
Maybe, but for the photos I've seen,
let's be honest.
It's not worth
Human genitalia in general is not very pretty to begin with.
Face for radio.
Yeah, but it's even worse.
Yeah, let's not talk about that. I don't want to know.
All right.
Yeah.
Just try not to get into every tweet.
I mean, I keep saying that, yes, I accept that the fact that she probably didn't think it was this horrible thing, and it just ended up that way.
So one of the things that's confusing me, and I'll let you go first on this one. So one of the things that's confusing me a little bit is that nobody seemed to care about this whole thing for about a year.
Very interesting.
Then your profile kind of got built up a little bit, and then literally within a week of you doing this show, Suddenly, everybody was saying this, and I'm a little.
This is not controversial. The more attention you get, the more people start digging, and then they, they're interested in the person or whatnot. This is not controversial at all. Matters.
Confused. Were people being doxxed?
Well,
before that, like, do we know when those people grabbed the list and started doxing?
Yeah, that was about a year ago. All those doxes I showed you on the phone. But the reason that happened was because about a year ago, when the actual website was, she was working to make it come to fruition. There was YouTubers Chris Reagan and one other big person, but made videos about the situation, criticizing the website, criticizing her motives, and she kind of, I guess, wasn't on the radar for about a year until after that. And she came back and she was Red Pill Black, new persona. And it took a few months for people to realize, oh, that was that person we were all talking about a year ago. That's what happened. So I think the idea that this is all like some grand conspiracy theory and that Tree of Logic was paid, Richard Spencer was paid, it doesn't make any sense. This
is relevant now because these are bottom-feeding YouTubers that saw someone rising up quickly. This is envy dressed up as righteousness, period. This doesn't even make sense. God. Oh, later, it took them a while to click.
I mean, let's just say it was envy. Is what you did right or wrong? It was wrong. That's we're done.
She admits it was wrong. I don't know why she's choosing this hill to die on. She would have done much better if she had just admitted, yeah, this was my bullshit liberal SJW self, and I'm going to take the site down. That would have worked way better.
It really would have. Yeah. I mean, and let's just. I mean, the other thing is the excuse for. The excuse for it still being out was just like, I forgot about it or something. It was an abandoned project or something. That would have been an easy...
No. You don't forget that. Well, I mean... You don't forget about that. I wouldn't have bought that.
It would have been something at least. I don't know.
No, the only thing that would have been acceptable, and she has damaged her reputation beyond repair with both sides, is for her to say, this was a mistake.
Right.
I was mistaken. I should not have launched this website, splash page or not. This was a terrible idea. I'm extremely sorry. I have seen the light now, and I'm taking it down. That was the only way she could have salvaged her reputation, and she just picked this hill to die on for whatever the fuck reason.
All right.
Talked about it extensively. Every interview I do, I talk about Gamergate, I talk about the Red Pill, I talk about social autopsy. So this is all BS. As I said, this is envy dressed up as righteousness. Okay, it took a year later. It never launched. All of a sudden, you're digging into people's past, and you didn't have the decency. I would have had a lot of respect for you, Blair, if you reached out. We have someone in common. If I saw something.
No, I did.
When did
I directly tweeted you. I said, do you want to do a live stream and talk about it? And you blocked me.
No. After you called me trash. I never saw a tweet from you that said you wanted to do a live stream.
Well, I did. But you can't see tweets if you block someone. You can't see tweets if you block someone.
Right. And we can all miss tweets.
But you can't do that after you call somebody trash. My point is that they
can't call a dead man dead.
And it was a dog pile.
What was that?
I said you can't call a dead man dead.
Apparently.
You're trash. Candace.
Okay, if 11 YouTubers are on the same live stream, that's a dog pile.
That's insulting.
You can't that's a dog pile. 11 YouTubers talking about one YouTuber.
All right.
Candace. What is that?
You know, the thing is, like, I don't. I've seen things like this. The thing is, like, first, like, David Strat, he was offered to get on a live stream. He refused. I have to give it to Crazy Hair. She got on, like, when she did, there was the stalking, like, allegations and stuff like that. She got on the stream against, like, 4 or 5, like, including Andy Worski, I think it was Blair White, Bunty, stuff like that. There was, like, 4 or 5 people, and she was there, and she was defending herself. You gotta give her credit for that, at least. I mean, if can't,
Yeah, she gets points for having the nut to show up.
Pretty much. Like...
but... She's still.
I mean, it's concerning what she did on the allegations and stuff like that, but at least she got on and defended herself.
For those not aware, Crazy Hair was accused of taking pictures of Blair White and several other people inside a private hotel room at VidCon.
At VidCon, yeah.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, and was asked to erase it, and I don't think she did.
I mean, there was some. I mean, there was multiple of them, like, sort of. Basically accusing her. Essentially, it wasn't just like one person, it was multiple people who were kind of a little concerned about what she was doing and stuff. So whoa, got quiet all of a sudden.
Just the general,
I'm above it. I would have never jumped on it because I genuinely
There was two when I was on. There was two.
Okay, pause for a second. Just to clarify one thing. So one person did check on the amount of minutes that Blair was on the live stream. It was approximately 40 minutes. She joined at about 30 and left around 1:10. Okay.
So all right. Not an hour and a half. You can both be wrong on that one.
All right, that's fine. But those aren't. I don't think those are the things that. I don't think
40 minutes is a long time to sit there talking about someone on what is a 4 hour.
It's certainly not an hour and a half. And you said about an hour and a half.
I said an hour and 15 minutes.
Okay, and I said about 20 minutes. So we were both
I'm gonna skip this.
Fair enough. And I don't think those are the things that are particularly important here. I don't think either one of you think
Can you skip the whole thing and just get to the end where they're shrieking at each other like idiots?
If I'm a YouTuber, if I don't make a video, it's really not that important for me to make a video. That's the first thing. So I was never like
this is an hour and a half. 2 hours of
weird that Richard Spencer jumped into this so early, and that this person made this video, which was a complete lie, saying that. And by the way, you're not talking about any of the lies you told in that video. It's amazing to me. You're so hell bent on the truth and saying.
I don't know Tree of Water. I don't know if she likes my content because I had never actually watched her prior to that.
But I'm asking you a question. Why was it about me? If you're saying
this is the farthest into this debate I've gotten.
Not because of a video that the liar made.
Guys, you got to pause.
Painful.
All right, here, listen. We could do this all day. I mean, literally, we could be here for the next 20 hours doing this, right?
Oh my God.
So I think we actually have made a little bit of headway here, believe it or not, because I think we've acknowledged that you realized the error of your mistake. I think you are conceding that point, but you're also saying that being said, bad things were done with the information. You're saying you had no control of that information, and I think you feel bad that actually did happen. But this is the old you.
I mean, you're putting that in her mouth. So wait, she never said that.
What?
She never said she felt bad about it. You're giving it to her.
Well, okay. So I don't want to put words in your mouth. Do you feel bad that
if a year ago people's were addresses?
A year ago.
You just said it was a year ago.
Let her answer.
You just said it was a year ago.
But you're trying to like mitigate, make it sound like it was like a year ago.
Well, I think partly what I'm really trying not to pay attention to the nonsense on Twitter, but I think what certain people were like I saw a certain level of anger with you that you showed no remorse, that even if it wasn't your intention to do this and you were misguided,
because
that you showed no remorse.
And I showed no remorse because and we go back to she's already conceded the point, so I'm not trying to be a dead horse here. She was telling people that I
sorry, not sorry.
That was a lie. So
sorry, not sorry. Sorry you took offense. Sorry that you don't like the thing that I'm doing. Sorry that you can't forgive me.
The source of that lie, as we've already talked about, was not you, okay? But was a video that, aside from saying I doxed people, said that I was like an undercover liberal that was using people for their money. Those are really nasty lies. They're nasty.
What's wrong with being a liberal, Candace? I'm just joking though.
Which I recommend, by the way, any YouTubers that want hits, like I would have gone on and spoken about this if anybody had approached like an individual as opposed to like trashing me and then saying defend yourself. It was I didn't know he made a video about me. I don't think he did.
But he definitely reached out to you. Andy Worski.
Yeah, he did, but he didn't make a video.
Honestly, everyone I think except for Some Black, I reached out to you and asked you.
Andy Worski never. He made videos about me and then basically said, "Come on a live stream." I'm not doing that. That's bottom feeding mentality.
Yeah, see, he can't control this at all.
Alright, I'm gonna just skip ahead like
defend themselves. That's not right.
I see plenty of people that make bad.
Sorry.
The low-level part of this that gets us nowhere, right? It gets us nowhere.
I'm trying to say something positive. I'm saying that I think that you could have handled yourself better if you genuinely.
That's a backhanded insult. That a compliment.
And listen, but this is why. And listen, where we go from here doesn't really matter because I think that you and I are just fundamentally different people, and I have the courtesy and respect that somebody.
Just.
From Tree of Logic. So is YouTube the deep web?
Do you not realize the irony of you defending the person that originally started these lies?
You're focused on me defending her.
But it's important because you're calling me. Yes, it is.
I'm focusing on your words.
You're trying to pretend that you're righteous and that everything you did to me was an act of righteousness when you're acknowledging that where you got your information was fundamentally a lie.
No,
pause.
Tree, I'm focusing on your words.
My name is not Tree.
I mean, sorry. I'm focusing on your words. I'm not focusing on her.
Oh my God.
It's a deep web conspiracy.
Did she call her Tree?
Yes, she did.
I'm gonna choose to think that was a mistake.
It was
on
definitely
her part,
a mistake.
Not intentional.
I mean, it's getting crazy.
So to me, to me, more than anything, I've just found.
But you're saying people were doxed on Kiwi Farms. That's the deep web.
Kiwi Farm is the deep web.
Kiwi Farms is the deep web.
Originated from Tree of Logic.
Guys, it came from the deep web. It's super scary shit.
I mean, it's also such a sinister word. It's the deep web.
It's the deep web. Yeah, that's current. That was like previously the previous cycle for like horror YouTubers to do. it came from the deep red web. Oh, it's a red room. It's child porn. It's all this horrible stuff.
Tentacles from the deep web.
And none of it was scary at all.
It was a deep web conspiracy. That's what you said in your Facebook video. People can go back to it.
However,
you're sitting across from me saying that it originated from Tree of Logic, who's a YouTuber. YouTube is not the deep web. So my point about that is, I found humor in the amount of
thank you, Blair. YouTube is not the deep web. Yes, thank you, Blair.
Conspiracy, and people were paid.
In case anybody needed.
Captain Obvious, starring Blair White and Candace Owens.
You've intentionally done that.
All right, guys.
For word meant something else because this is what was told to me. And he saw the emails. So when I'm getting called a liar and then being triple attacked,
you're having issues with this too. I'm not the only one.
No, it's just it's just
and I'm gonna show
the problem was it's repetition on top of repetition on top of repetition, and it's just like it's just, oh gosh.
The emails that I never lied.
Yeah, you know it's more interesting to me than this for now.
Like when you
My friend just texted me a picture of his bag of sharp cheddar cheese, and somebody like sealed an entire half of a giant chunk of it in the bag. That is more interesting than this fucking debate right now.
I'm just gonna skip another like 10. Let's come on, go up there.
So this person then, because she watches us, began tweeting to let her on and say her piece. She came on the live stream. It was an ugly moment. There was an argument. We talked about how, you know, everything that she did, she was denying everything. It was an ugly moment. I privated the video. What happened was, it's also disgusting to legally tap someone and then, anyways. So what happened was about 2 or 3 days ago, Candace began tweeting that, basically a complete character attack saying, look who I'm gonna be debating, this person made an autistic girl cry. She pulled that out of thin air. Maybe you were told. Maybe
I had a conversation with this girl and I couldn't defend myself. So this is BS right now.
Okay, I hear you. The audience hears you.
Cannot stand him. Literally cannot stand Blair whatsoever.
Cannot stand him.
And even if she was autistic, to use that as a scapegoat.
You are double attacking this girl.
Guys,
double attacking this girl right now because you attacked her in a video and made her cry. Now you're using her to make yourself sound good.
Guys, I was like. Okay. So, what does it matter?
She's talking about crazy hair, by the way.
Is she actually autistic?
No, she's just weird.
I mean, like she didn't. I've heard her speak. Like she doesn't sound autistic, at least. Like not anywhere near, near non-functioning or anything like that, or high functioning, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, like even if she is, she has the enough mental fortitude as an adult to like plan a trip to fucking California on her own and all that other stuff. So I don't know, are you saying that people that have autism can't do normal stuff and can't fuck up like this, Candace? Is that what you're saying? Because that sounds pretty fucking ableist of you. Disabled people can fuck up just like everyone else, Candace.
I mean, not to mention she defended herself on against like 4 or 5 people and like. And like if you're not like, granted, like I think I trusted more the other people because like I've watched them a lot before and I had no idea who this was, but like granted, considering what Crazy Hair did, like she didn't defend herself too badly. Like she put in a lot of plausible deniability in there, even though I think a lot of people didn't really believe her. So, but
yeah, I wasn't really buying it, honestly. But no, I mean, she gets points for coming on and doing that.
Definitely. All right, I skipped to like 10 more minutes.
And I don't think that, we're gonna probably be in the same social circles, which is fine with you and fine with me. This isn't what I want for my career. And I consider this will definitely
still has a career?
be a low light.
Look, if
it
will definitely be a low light.
Yes.
So I'm pretty disappointed as well in the way it was handled. I'm disappointed in the way that you attempted to damage control all of this involving telling lies about people. And that was my intention, to come in here and say, what about this lie? What about this lie? And that was the point. Clearly, I conceded that your website, while you never got around to actually doxing someone, even though that was the intent of the website, to spread people's names attached to their employers and their schools, you directly didn't end up having the capacity to actually do that because you didn't actually launch the website. However, the information was accessible by people who did dox those people, and all of those people, maybe not all, but I saw about 6 or 7 people whose personal addresses, workplaces, and telephone numbers were doxed. So my entire contention with this was that she created a resource for doxers.
Well, this a little bit reminds me of sort of the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Finally.
I believe your intentions here. I don't attack people's intentions until I see it wrong. I believe your intentions were good. I believe the intentions that you started this thing with were good, and you realized that it was wrong. You are acknowledging that. Whether what people do after that on the internet is sort of hard for any of us
to gauge.
Yeah,
like it's crazy that I have to be like responsible for what somebody who is really, for anybody to dox anybody, you have to be a pretty nasty human being.
All right. So first off, I'll throw it to you guys here. Do you want to do the Q&A if we can do it in a kind of calm way? I'm really okay either way. If you just feel like we've gotten to where we need to be.
I feel like we've gotten to where we need to be.
I'm down for Q&A. Maybe Candace wants to go. I can do Q&A.
We should have just skipped to this part.
To be honest. I'm not even trying for the sake of disagreeing, but I really am.
Okay. All right, you know what?
This is so off-brand for me to even be like across from someone who
you know what? Here's what we're doing.
Because I wanted to clarify that I didn't make a doxing website, and I was able to do that.
You could have done this without me.
Okay.
You could have done this without me.
All right, look, you know what? At the end of the day, everyone watch. At the end of the day, everyone watch it. Look, I feel like although this has been sort of.
Dave raised his voice.
Whatever questions I had remaining in my mind, I do feel like have been answered for me. I hope that some other people will feel that too. But let's do this. We're going to do a 20-minute.
Leroy Jenkins
in this thing asking. I don't want to be disrespectful of their time. All right, guys, give us literally 60 seconds just to refill some water, and we're going to take a breath and
get our balls back.
Water. It means he's going to lock the liquor cabinet and go get some vodka.
Quote, water.
Vodka.
All right, let's see if I skip a little ahead of.
Russian water. I don't think there's anything funny in the
Q&A. We can just stop it then. Papa, no, you saw this, right? Is there anything good in the Q&A? Or not?
No, I only saw like I didn't see a whole lot of it. I ducked out. I couldn't do it.
Fair enough. I'm kind of tired of it too. Just like. Oh, we've been.
Yeah. You started skipping, and I just you have way more tolerance for this bullshit than I do, and you're just like, I'm done. This is bullshit.
I mean,
this is awful.
I could have potentially gone a little bit longer, but it's just like, I don't know. I probably would have just skipped like 5 seconds at a time until I heard like a new point being brought up. Whew, man. All right.
No, skip the screaming.
Yeah, I'm gonna close this down. Yeah. Okay. Whew. So, I mean, the thing is, like, I'm not even sure if anything was really accomplished by this. Like, I don't even feel like, I mean, I guess I'm a little more informed on the situation.
Dave Rubin becoming an alcoholic.
but like, ultimately, I think it was just, like, I don't know. I don't feel any different at all about the two different sides. Like, what she did was wrong, obviously, and she doesn't really have a good explanation. Or, I mean, like, I don't think it's a very valid explanation. Like, yeah, okay, sure, her intentions were good, but, like, literally every, like, dictator thinks their intentions are good, too. Like it doesn't matter how good the intentions are. It's the actions, I think. I mean, it does matter what the intentions were, but, like, I just, to a degree.
No, I think the end result matters more than intention sometimes.
But, I mean, ultimately, like, she crossed the line, and, like, despite the intentions, it's still, like, she's also not, she's not very sorry about it. Because she was saying, it's like, I didn't dox people, I shouldn't be sorry, or whatever. Like, she said that in the middle of the video. So she's not even exactly really sorry because, yeah, I have to go back to this phone analogy. It's just like, you know, you gave the person the phone essentially.
Yeah. Yeah, you gave it to them, man. I don't know. I guess. Unless you picked up, that's a crappy analogy. Now that the more that I think about it, the more it's a crappy analogy.
Yeah. I mean, granted, it's Red Pill Black's analogy, so it's not gonna be great. Let's see what the chat say.
She who doesn't know what a splash page was. Then I didn't either, but then again, I didn't have one, so
Georgia here is saying Stalin and Hitler thought their means justified their end goals. Millions upon millions died later. So yeah, I mean,
I'm fairly sure Stalin knew the harm he was doing and didn't give a fuck.
I've definitely heard stories because like Sargon did a stream where he was like they were basically saying like Stalin was basically saying, you know, the number of people dissidents that you found in this area, find 500 more. It's just like holy shit. I mean, yeah, I think in some cases they just didn't care, but I mean, I think ultimately they probably had, you know, like the end does just, like, to them the ends justify the means. They just don't care how they get there, no matter, you know, I mean, there's also, like, stories of Mao basically saying, you know, oh, we might lose, like, 15% of the population here or something. Just, like, casually.
Yeah, like they weren't people. Like they weren't human.
I mean, that's the problem when you collectivize it, because
I think thinking of people as like humans gets so much in the way.
Yeah, to go full collectivization, you have to be on some level okay with a good chunk of your population dying.
I mean, that also reminds me of that what was it? It was like the Leninist Maoist the one chick, the third worldism chick on Twitter. She basically is a like Leninist Maoist Marxist or something like that, and she's just like in some of these countries, you know, we gotta initiate she was talking about the Middle East. If she took over the Middle East, she would basically provoke all the jihadis to attack and then slaughter all of them and kill all the imams and just like remake society and, you know, in like essentially accelerate it like Mao did, essentially, or Mao or Stalin accelerated.
That's not how any of that works.
No, she doesn't care. She literally was like, I don't care about killing a bunch of people, basically. And she's like, oh, you know, all these, you know, all liberals and
okay, but even if you did, that's still not how that fucking works.
I mean, I guess if they had the manpower, it might, but it just. The question is, of course, if you win, like she might lose. That's always the danger. And she's like, you know, if I die in the service of the cause or whatever, I accept that. And I was just like, okay. It's like she's willing to sacrifice.
I'm still not entirely sure that she wasn't a pro.
No, she's consistently. She'll interact with academic agent on a regular basis and like espouse her views and stuff like that. She's real. She's dedicated to it, at least.
Oh, that's terrifying.
And I think she lives like in the third world. I think it's hard to narrow down where she lives because she talks about different places, and so I'm not sure exactly her perspective. Not that I want to know where she lives exactly, but more of her perspective. But
I thought she was from Africa.
She said she has a lot of third world experience. I don't know if that necessarily means that she lives there, but I assume she's like, you know, toured and done stuff there and stuff like that. But
I mean, I guess that's most of the Caribbean and a lot of other places too, huh?
That's, yeah, probably third world-ish stuff. But it really is interesting, just like the callousness of, I don't know, it's incredible how people can be that callous, and they are still people, they're still humans, but holy smokes, we don't want them anywhere near power.
Yeah.
I don't know, any other thoughts other than to...
Interacting with somebody. A while back, I was interacting with somebody on Facebook that was from Africa, and he was saying, it's like, oh yeah, I think the U.S. could do with enacting some stuff they do in Africa. And I just like stared at him, I'm like staring at my screen. I'm just like,
wait, who can do stuff in Africa?
I'm sorry, have you seen Africa?
Who can do stuff in Africa?
Just pick a country. Fucking pick a country.
Mm-hmm.
Ones are unstable in some way.
Yeah.
Africa's a dumpster fire.
I mean, the other thing about Africa is, like, there's a lot of stuff talking about, like, oh, you know, the Western powers screwed them over and stuff like that. There are quite a few, like, socialist dictatorships there as well, screwing things up. So it's not by all means is not necessarily capitalism, especially if you have a bunch of socialist like dictatorships and stuff around. So,
you know, I mean, They're socialist insofar as like how they deal with their people, but when they're dealing with money themselves, they're capitalist all the way. That's a bad combination, man.
I mean, like,
that's a real fucking bad combination.
I mean, I don't know. Unfortunately, I think like the record with socialism, basically, either it turns into a dictatorship or it's too weak and it fails. You know, in almost every situation, like whether or not there was forces from the outside, like fighting, helping out, it just they were too weak.
I think socialism will never work. Like a true socialist state will never work. It's because you need somebody who is a benevolent person that truly is looking out for the well-being of everybody around them, and generally that type of person is not successful in seeking power.
No.
Or just won't in the first place.
I mean, that's what happened to Toski. He got ice picked. I think he was like one of the more true believers or whatever. He got ice picked by Stalin. And just
what happened to Lenin?
Lenin died naturally. So, and
and he was maybe the less
radical
bad of the trio.
Yeah, because I've heard.
Probably.
I've heard he actually.
I think if Lenin had seen what Stalin did, he would cry.
Oh no! Like I think specifically on his deathbed, he was like, "Don't give power to Stalin."
Yeah, he warned them about Stalin.
And Stalin still outmaneuvered everyone.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right. I think it's a good time to wrap it up. Thank you for everyone for watching and viewing. Wait.
All right.